Well, here we are down at Donington Park for the 2023 Convoy on the Park. Have we got some racing action for you upcoming? If the weather holds out, we have got some serious action planned, and I hope that you all enjoy what you're about to see. Welcome to Donington Park. It's the British Truck Racing Championship.
Have you seen this trailer? If you have, take a photo when safe and then send it to us. All for a chance to win one of our 5 miniature truck and trailers.
Total Care's T8 range of mobile column lifts provides a highly flexible lifting solution for any commercial vehicle workshop. Easy to manoeuvre, the columns can be used across different lifting bays within the workshop and can be stored out of the way when not in use. The super strong lifts can support up to a 7,500 kilogram capacity per column and can be configured in sets of 4, 6 or 8. Adjustable wheel forks provide flexibility for lifting a variety of vehicles and wheel diameters. Speak to our team today for more information or a bespoke quote.
So with the clouds rolling in over Donington Park, will the weather hold up for the first race of the British Truck Racing Championship today on track?
I'll quickly run you through the grid once again for our first truck race of the day. So it's Ryan Smith on pole alongside David Jenkins, separated by just a few hundredths of a second in qualifying. Stuart Oliver and Bradley Smith on the second row. Simon Reed and Michael Oliver on row 3. John Bowler and Tom O'Rourke on the 4th row of the grid, completing the top 10, Ricky Collett and Simon Faulkner. Row 6 will be Stephen Powell and Craig Reed. Watch for them coming through. Craig Reed with that penalty for exceeding the 100-mile-an-hour speed limit in practice. Stephen Powell with 1 or 2 gremlins, which hopefully have been ironed out by his team. Then a gap back to Division 2. Paul Rivett, the quickest qualifier there, alongside John Powell in the DAF. Craig Evans and Adam Bint on the second row. Jim Bennett and Simon Cole completing Division 2, while Neil Yates is a Division 1 truck, but he's asked to start from the back of the grid. His first time in that MAN this weekend. Looking at the point standings, stop flying Ryan Smith in Division 1 as the convoy heads around. Pace truck will pull into the pit lane this time, and it's time to go racing here at Convoy in the Park 2023, with the first of 9 truck races this weekend, the first of 5 for the British Truck Racing Championship 2023. Ryan Smith not hanging about, he's already poised to launch off into the lead. Here we go then. Once the red lights go out on the gantry, we will be underway. Get ready to feel the noise. As here we go, race gets underway. And down towards Redgate they go for the first time. Coming up the outside, Michael Oliver's already clipped the back of Bradley Smith. He's on the grass there on the outside. Ryan Smith gets away well, so does Stuart Oliver. It'll be Flying Ryan who leads the way into the first corner. Oliver in second. David Jenkins keeping at the outside line. Division 2, the battle is on between John Powell and Paul Rivett, the pole sitter. They're all round the first corner okay. Neil Yates at the back in the 33. Now coming down the Craner curves and into the old hairpin. Ryan Smith leads from Oliver, Jenkins, Bradley Smith. One of the Reeds, that's Simon Reed in 5th position. Somebody running a bit wide onto the grass. That's John Bowler. He's into the gravel in the number 14. Gravel won't bog him down. It's fairly dry here at Donington at the moment. Rain showers may be forecast later on, so John Bowler has dropped back a little in the early stages. Leaders up at McLean's. Ryan Smith from Stuart Oliver, David Jenkins, as they start to settle into their Single file crocodile. There's John Bowler trying to fight back. He's on the tail of Simon Faulkner in the number 92 Iveco. The ex-Reed truck into Coppice. You can see how the circuit rises up there into Coppice Corner. Tricky part of the circuits. Down the exhibition straight they come there. Ryan Smith will lead the first lap of the weekend. David Jenkins has a look, but he's not close enough to attack Stuart Oliver for second place. Bit of bodywork flapping on Bradley Smith there. Had some contact off the line with Michael Oliver. At the inside, John Bowler takes Simon Faulkner. See where that's got him back up into after that moment at the old hairpin. Over the line go the leaders. Looking at the timing screen, Bowler's lost 4 places. He's down to P11 as a result of that. His next target is Stephen Powell. Made a decent start there. He gained a place off the line. Craig Reed's already gained 3 spots. So they swing their way towards the Craner curves once again down the hill. Ryan Smith starting to increase his lead, as we've seen so often before, looking for win number 9 this season. In Division 2, Adam Bint and John Powell are level on 5 wins apiece. Paul Rivette's had 4. So those 3 have divided up the wins between them in Division 2. There are the Division 2 trucks heading down the hill. It's John Powell, number 6, with the advantage at the moment in the blue DAF. Somebody running wide onto the grass. That's one of the Reeds. That was Craig Reed. Mistake at Schwann's curve. We'll see if he's gathered that up again. Fair bit of smoke coming from Adam Bint. Now, if you emit too much black smoke, you'll be black flagged. So Adam Bint could be in problems here if he starts smoking like that. And, yes, the leaders run wide there, coming out of Coppice. Bit of dust kicked up. Paul Rivette has pulled into the pits. I missed that. So Paul Rivette has pulled in with a problem. One of our Division 2 favourites in trouble already. Through the Robert chicane. That bit of bodywork flies off the back of Bradley Smith. That's his wheel arch gone. Stephen Powell under fire. This is for 10th position. Craig Reed got up into 8th place past Ricky Collett, so that grassy moment, I was about to say, didn't delay him too much, but Collett's pulling back on the inside there down the straight. Here they come into Redgate. Yep, Collett is back ahead. It's battle for 8th position. It's Ryan Smith who leads by 1.3 seconds, just on the fastest lap of the race, 1:25.87. Reedy trying to fight back. Just one Division 1 win to his name so far, Craig Reed, in the last race of 2022. Stephen Powell behind him and John Bowler recovering after his brief off on the first lap. It's still Smith, Oliver and Jenkins, a very familiar podium, it has to be said, in the British Truck Racing Championship. Bradley Smith in 4th place, then Simon Reed is 5th, Michael Oliver 6th, Tom O'Rourke 7th, then everybody else battling for 8th place. Then the Division 2 trucks heading through. Their leader is John Powell in 13th overall. Adam Bint is still going. He's 3rd in class behind Craig Evans in the number 10. Still looking for his first class win. As up the inside, Craig Reed has a look. There's nearly contact there coming through Coppice. Here they come along the exhibition straight. Craig Reed's got the inside line there. And the man from Stoke-on-Trent will pull back ahead of the Yorkshireman Ricky Collett, whose trucks haul some of the biggest and heaviest loads seen on the UK's roads. Now under fire from Stephen Powell, the man from Kent, lives just down the road from Brands Hatch. John Bowler's trying to make it 3 wide. Lucky if he can get 3 wide in cars going down into Redgate, never mind in trucks. Stephen Powell is going to get ahead of Ricky Collett. They think better of going 3 wide. John Bowler drops back a bit, and through goes Stephen Powell. Ricky Collett's lost 2 places. Now don't forget that this race, the result will set the grid for race 3, which is coming up tomorrow, with the top 8 positions reversed. So if you finish 8th, you will start on pole in your division. 8th currently is Craig Reed in Division 1. There's 6 trucks in Division 2, and the finishers will be reversed for the grid for race 2. Currently in the last runner in Division 2 is currently Jim Bennett, number 28, the Seddon Atkinson, because Paul Rivette has dropped out. Bradley Smith, minus that rear wheel arch, is being caught by Simon Reed. The Reed's certainly in the thick of the action in this one. Simon needs some points here to move back up the charts because he missed the round at Thruxton. Just being kicked up there by David Jenkins in 3rd place, the Digraph Transport Morris Lubricants MAN. His father Tony was a truck racer for many years before him, used to race an American Mack truck, if I remember rightly. No American trucks racing this weekend, but some very beautiful ones on display in the paddock. Dave Jenkins to the outside. In the background there's Michael Oliver. You can see a bit of damage to the MAN where he clipped the back of Bradley Smith at the start. Behind him, Tom O'Rourke. Here's a battle towards the back. There's Jim Bennett. Gentleman Jim recently celebrated his 74th birthday and still going strong, the man from Suffolk in the classic Seddon Atkinson. Among the oldest trucks out there, the oldest, we believe, is John Powell's DAF, currently leading Division 2 in 13th overall. 8.5 minutes to go in race 1 of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship here at Convoy in the Park. There's Simon Cole, the number 41. So many mechanical problems this season. He's ditched the Division 1 MAN, switched to Division 2 with the Iveco. But Adam Bint has dropped behind now. Yeah, there's definitely something amiss with Adam Bint's Volvo. He's slowed right down. Neil Yates moving ahead now. Neil Yates is a more powerful Division 1 truck, but he's just learning that truck. And is that a change for the lead there? No, it's not. I think Paul Rivette, yeah, he's rejoined out of the pits and he's just ahead of the leaders. That threw me off there for a moment. So Paul Rivette is about to be lapped in the MAN number 22. This is the battle for second place. Stuart Oliver from David Jenkins. Completing their 5th lap, the leaders. 2.2 seconds is the lead gap. There is Paul Rivette. Started on pole in Division 2, but some problems forcing him into the pits at the end of the first lap. The former multiple Renault Clio champion. He's running in P19 at the moment, some 3 laps off the pace. But the last thing the Division 1 runners will want is for him to get in their way. Stuart Oliver kicks up some dust. It was coming down the Craner curves where he spun and went into the barriers at Convoy in the Park 2022 in the Volvo. Bradley Smith still under fire from Simon Reed. Donington not the easiest circuit to overtake on in a truck. Paul Rivette, you can see there, moving aside, lets the leader through. Good driving there by Paul Rivette. Division 2 still led by John Powell ahead of Craig Evans by just over a second. Well, Adam Bint's lap times, Powell and Evans are lapping in the 130s, 131s. Adam Bint's last lap time was a 144, so there's clearly problems with the number 5 truck. Paul Rivette moves to the inside, the leader's going to the outside to get around him. Bradley Smith has now got Simon Reed right on his rear axle there as they come down into the chicane. Out of the Robert chicane, up the Wheatcroft straights. Well, there's Adam Bint. You can see the smoke from the number 5, and he's going to be lapped by Ryan Smith. So a struggle for the Division 2 Championship leader. Just looking at the standings at the moment, I don't think John Powell... Oh, and round the outside there, Simon Faulkner. Bit of a contretemps here coming out of the chicane. John Bowler, Simon Faulkner and Ricky Collett. And Simon Faulkner on the grass there on the outside. Meanwhile, David Jenkins all over Stuart Oliver now for second place, down into the old hairpin. Simon Reed all over Bradley Smith. He has been for a couple of laps. 5.5 minutes of this race to go. Ryan Smith coming up to lap Jim Bennett. Now, if Paul Rivette just finishes here, he will be on pole for race 3 for Division 2. There's only 6 trucks in Division 2, so as long as they all finish, they'll be reversed. Somebody running wide there, that's Simon Faulkner again. Bit of rally crossing from the 92 as he battles further down the order. Battle between John Bowler, Simon Faulkner and Ricky Collett is for 10th place. It's going to be 4 together for second place shortly because Bradley Smith has almost caught David Jenkins. Here they come down into the right-hander, the Robert chicane, the right, the left. They were delayed a little there, lapping Jim Bennett, I think, at Coppice. This has allowed Ryan Smith to escape. He's now 3.8 seconds ahead. It's 4 for second now, near enough. David Jenkins weighs a tough and ebullient racer in his MAN. Having a go at the 10 times British champion, 1-time European champion, Stuart Oliver. Ryan Smith has made no secret of the fact he wants to match and beat Stuart Oliver's record of 10 titles. Down the hill they come into the old hairpin. Bradley Smith, the 46, his father Tony Smith raced under the same number in a Finnish-built Sisu. We will see a Sisu out in the International Truck pre-races today. This is the battle for the lead in Division 2, with John Powell under fire from Craig Evans. Craig Evans desperate for his first class win. He came within half a lap at Brands Hatch on Easter weekend this year, then ran wide into the gravel and let John Powell through. He's lost the side panel off his truck there, you can see there, number 10, Craig Evans. These two are fairly well ahead of the rest of the Division 2 field. It's Simon Cole, third in D2. Because we lost two of the favourites, of course, of problems. There's one of them, Adam Binns, who's crawling round towards the back, and Paul Rivette is 3 laps down, having pitted. Through McLean's. John Powell will be surprised and possibly, in his own opinion, slightly pleased to see Adam Binns struggling there, because it means he could have a chance to take the lead of the championship in Division 2. Yes, Adam Binns slowing right down. It wouldn't surprise me if he's heading for the pits this time around. There's another 3 minutes of the race for him to survive. Now, is Craig Evans going to be able to snatch Division 2 away from John Powell? Through the chicane they come, just a truck length in between them. Ryan Smith's lead is up to over 4 seconds now. It's going to be win number 9 of the season, giving him, hopefully there's no mechanical maladies for him. John Powell continues to lead Division 2 in the DAF, the Dutch-built machine. Here's the battle for second in Division 1, meanwhile. Still Stuart Oliver holding off David Jenkins. Smith, Oliver, Jenkins, you said earlier, it's a podium we've seen many times before. Bradley Smith, Simon Reed next, and they're well clear of Michael Oliver, who's in 6th. Tom O'Rourke 7th, then Craig Reed, Stephen Powell, and John Bowler topping the battle for 10th. He's now pulled away from Ricky Collins. There may be a 5-second penalty for Simon Reed, but we'll confirm that when we receive official confirmation. I suspect that's for exceeding track limits on too many occasions. There's a board being hung out by the marshals there in the background as the leaders lap Neil Yates in the 33. Keeping it steady, learning his craft. Only his second weekend of truck racing. His first at Thruxton ended in spectacular fashion with that huge crash at Allard. Leaders come down the Craner curves. Is Simon Reed finally going to have a go? He spent almost the whole race on Bradley Smith's rear bumper. Through towards Schwantz, then McLean's. Here are the Division 2 leaders, and they've split apart a little on that last lap. Craig Evans possibly lost a bit of time lapping Jim Bennett there. So with the exception of these two, Division 2 is very well strung out. Because Simon Cole, third in Division 2, is about 26 seconds back on Craig Evans. The second place battle is split into 2 pairings again. Coming around to start their final lap. Ryan Smith still leads. Over the line he comes. Chased by Oliver and Jenkins. The lead gap 3.9 seconds, so it's stabilised. The Northside Truck and Van Daimler Freightliner. Possible 5-second penalty for Tom O'Rourke as well. We'll confirm that after the race. Haven't seen much of the Scotsman in this one. Clock counting down to 0, so it'll be checkered flag this time. In our first British Truck Racing Championship event of the weekend. Bradley Smith has pulled away just a little bit there from Simon Reed. Five seconds pending for Craig Reed as well, so both the Reed brothers could have penalties there. Through Coppice for the last time. Can David Jenkins steal second place into the final chicane? It's going to be a win for Ryan Smith. He's got Adam Binns in his way there. Adam Binns moves aside, lets the Daimler Freightliner through. Here they come down into the chicane then. Well, fly in Ryan, 7 times British champion, comes in to take his 9th win of the 2023 season, leading all the way from pole position, as he always seems to do in the first race of the weekend. Stuart Oliver will hang on for second place, David Jenkins third, and Bradley Smith working hard all the way to hold off Simon Reed for fourth place. Sixth position goes to Michael Oliver, and there's Tom O'Rourke holding off Craig Reed for 7th and 8th. There may be penalties pending there though. 9th it will be Stephen Powell, because Paul Rivett a couple of laps down. And 10th place for John Bowler, who has dropped Ricky Collett and Simon Faulkner. John Powell, meanwhile, here he comes. He's pulled away from Craig Evans. He's going to win Division 2. That will be win number 6 of the season for him. And with Adam Bint suffering mechanical issues, finishing well behind in 5th place in Division 2, a lap down. Then John Powell in prime position to take the lead of the championship in Division 2. He weaves across the line in celebration. Craig Evans second in Division 2. And well done to Simon Cole, a fine 3rd place in the division. Jim Bennett, he'll be pleased with 4th in Division 2. And our final finisher will be Adam Bint. But it's another win for Flying Ryan. Perfectly driven by Ryan Smith, the Nottinghamshire man on his local circuit. Four drivers receiving 5-second penalties in that one: Simon Reed, Tom O'Rourke, Craig Reed and Simon Cole. But we know not why at the moment. We haven't been given a reason. We'll confirm that as soon as we have it. But Ryan Smith takes the win by just under 4 seconds ahead of Stuart Oliver. David Jenkins completing the podium, and Bradley Smith holding off Simon Reed for 4th. Michael Oliver 6th ahead of Tom O'Rourke. Then Craig Reed and 8th. Stephen Powell and John Bowler round out the top 10. Ricky Collett would battle with Simon Faulkner in the early stage there, 11th and 12th. And then in 13th place, John Powell wins Division 2, finishing just a couple of seconds ahead of Craig Evans. Next home behind them in his first race in Division 1, a lap down, was Neil Yates. Third in Division 2 was Simon Cole, his first Division 2 race of the season. And further back, Jim Bennett, Adam Bint 2 laps down after his engine problems, and Paul Rivett after his pit visit 3 laps down, the final finisher in 19th place.
In the park, we saw a fantastic early start from Ryan Smith. A massive battle of defence as we see Dave Jenkins in the background here congratulating Stuart Oliver on a race well raced. We're still unpacking Ryan Smith at the moment, but another fantastic show of racing skill from young Bradley Smith, keeping his 4th position through the race, as he does the championship as well. I tell you, I wish he was as quick at getting out of the truck as he is at getting out of the way of the rest of the paddock. Ryan Smith now descending from the Daimler Freightliner. Ryan, fantastic start to the weekend for you, sir. Now, quickly, we haven't had a chance to speak to you yet. We had a few issues during testing. I heard a rumour on the grapevine. What was that about? And obviously it's sorted now.
Well, we didn't really have any testing, just Dave's been fast. So, you know, I think me and Dave both broke the lap record in qualifying. European boys have come off half a second off us. We did a setup change then and we went the wrong way, but at least we know what to do for the next race. But look, gets it off the back. You know, I seen Dave and Stuart was fighting, so we didn't really see Dave's real pace there. So
you pulled away very well with those two fighting with each other behind you.
Yeah, well, look, at the end of the day, it's race 1 out of the way. Race 2, we get onto that, then hopefully it rains tomorrow, so it mixes it up a bit.
No, we don't want it to rain. Come on in, Dave. How are we, sir? Very good. And how was the experience of the race for you? First one out at Donington Park?
Yeah, it was good to get the first one out of the way, wasn't it? I mean, what a fantastic event we've got going on here this weekend. All these people here, all these trucks there, all these teams there. Great racing, great speed from us. Really good, strong first race.
It was great to see the battle between you and Stuart, but I tell you what, Stuart, you two have got to be careful, because that Bradley Smith, he's sticking with you all the way around at the moment, isn't he?
He's going well for a young boy.
For a young boy.
I know he is. But I think everybody was going well. You know, we weren't launching away. You know, we imagine not far behind this old boy. So he's obviously peaked a little bit or something.
When you're in a circumstance like that, Stuart naturally goes defensive because he wants to protect. So he allows you, the front runner, to get away. Dave, you don't see his true pace because he's in traffic. So, you know, next race we'll see, won't we?
Well, this pace to watch. Dave, any setup changes going into the next race of the day, second for Saturday?
Yeah, no, I'm hungry now.
He's hungry, wants it. Lunch first then, by the sounds of it. Right, gentlemen, thank you very much for talking to me. Let's head back down now, further back in Parc Fermé, and see if we can't find a couple more drivers from Division 2. Neil Yates, of course, doing very well there as well. Chose to start at the back of the pack altogether for the sheer fact that obviously he wanted to just find his feet, ease himself into it, but a really good result for him overtaking some trucks in Division 2. Obviously the difference in power is there. Let's have a word now with Adam Bint. Watch that fire extinguisher, you're doing well. You're all flat here now though, Ad, so you're okay. Adam, how are we?
I'd be better if I had a boost hose that was connected.
Not that, I mean, so yeah, you went off as well. What happened there? Sort of coming together with Jim Bennett, we didn't see it because it was on the other side of the circuit.
Yeah, I went on the outside, let him up the inside, but the track's a bit slippy around the back, and he just understeered and just touched me off into the gravel. But
I hate it when it's slippy around the back,
especially when somebody hits you as well.
Oh, madam.
It was one of them things. He just obviously the track on the actual racing line was slippy, and I had more grip just going around the outside.
But we're not too damaged, which is good news. So we're fixing the boost hose at lunch, I take it?
Yeah, it was all fixable, but we just needed to carry on circulating to gain some points and the starting position for Sunday's first race.
This is it, because a DNF in Division 2 at the moment would be literally a death stroke for the championship, wouldn't it?
Yes, definitely. It's bad enough losing 1 or 2 points, but when you lose that many points and there's only so many of us, you're only swapping between 5 and 6 points each race. It's very tight at the top.
Super tight. Right, well, we'll leave you to look over the trot. Adam Bitt, thank you very much for talking to us. We've got Paul Rivette here. Let's see if we can get a short version of events from him, but I doubt it somehow. Paul, how are we?
Yeah, not too bad. Unfortunately, the turbo pipe blew off on the first lap, and we were
second one. So that's 2 Division 2 trucks with a boost hose going.
Yeah, so unfortunate, obviously, one of those things. Shame we got fastest lap in the race still, and we were in the lead of Division 2 at the time. So I'm pretty sure it would have been our race if it hadn't. But you know, this is motor racing. This is the way it goes.
This is what happens, and I was just talking to Adam about the same thing. Even though you might have been slower when you went back out there for the second half of the race, it's the finishing of the race that really has kept you in the championship, because it's so tight at the moment.
Yeah, so we get a point for the fastest lap, and we'll get I think about 10 points for finishing 6th where we did. So you know, it does help for the championship.
So down but not out.
Oh yeah, down but not out, far from it. You know, our goal at the moment is just to win everything we can. So you know, if we're not winning, then never mind, we'll come 6th.
Sounds good to me.
We'll save the winning for later and tomorrow.
That's it. There's another 4 races. I can't believe I'm saying this. There's 4 British races left for the weekend. It almost feels we've been here this long so far this week that this should be Sunday afternoon, doesn't it? But it's not.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I love about the truck racing is that 5 races every weekend. It's you know, it's just you're constantly in and out the truck, and it's brilliant as a driver. You know, that's what we want. That's what the fans want, and it's just part of what makes the championship so good.
Indeed, I mean, John Bowler, will have to catch up with him shortly. He's actually racing in both the championships, because I think that a memo was sent out to everybody weeks ago saying if you want to race in both, you can. And obviously, only he took up the offer.
He must have been in the gym for a few months beforehand, that's all I can say.
Some serious effort goes into dragging these things around. Honestly, the stamina he must have is better than I could achieve, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's the other thing is keeping yourself hydrated as well when you're constantly out there like that. But you know, hats off to John. You know, if I had the chance to do it, I'd be doing exactly the same thing.
We'll probably have it on autopilot by lunchtime tomorrow though.
Have you seen this trailer? If you have, take a photo when safe and then send it to us. All for a chance to win one of our 5 miniature truck and trailers.
Total Care's T8 range of mobile column lifts provides a highly flexible lifting solution for any commercial vehicle workshop. Easy to manoeuvre, the columns can be used across different lifting bays within the workshop and can be stored out of the way when not in use. The super strong lifts can support up to a 7,500 kg capacity per column and can be configured in sets of 4, 6 or 8. Adjustable wheel forks provide flexibility for lifting a variety of vehicles and wheel diameters. Speak to our team today for more information or a bespoke quote.
Well, we had some naughty boys getting warnings about track limits with an impromptu meeting with Clerk of the Course after that last race. Let's see if we can get away with some better behaviour for the second race, the British Trucks this
Session
afternoon.
earlier today, the grid with a very similar look to that of race 1. Ryan Smith on pole in the number 1 Daimler Freightliner, alongside him number 69 David Jenkins. Second row, number 7 Stuart Oliver and 46 Bradley Smith. Third row, 89 Simon Reed, number 12 Michael Oliver. Row 4 is John Bowler, number 14, on the Worcester's gravelly excursion in the International Truck pre-race earlier on. Starts alongside Tom O'Rourke in the 86. Craig Reed is next in the 68 alongside 95 Ricky Collett, and then Simon Thorpe, number 92, and number 3 Stephen Powell after problems in qualifying, rounding out Division 1. Heading out back to Division 2, Paul Rivett on pole position, the number 22 alongside the number 6 of John Powell. Then number 5 Adam Bint and 10 Craig Evans. 28 of Jim Bennett is next. 41 Simon Cole and 33 Neil Yates. I think Simon Cole might be starting from the pit lane in the 41. Neil Yates in the Division 1 33 truck, starting from the back, of course, as he's new to that truck this weekend. Paul Rivett has struck lucky because he was able to rejoin after reattaching his turbo boost pipe in race 1. Finished at the back of the Division 2 runners, which gives him pole position for race 3. That's tomorrow, because great result of race 1 sets the grid for race 3. He's qualified on pole here. Revs beginning to rise. He's near 1,000 horsepower engines. Power starts to come on, and here we go. Down towards Redgate for the first time. Ryan Smith gets away well, so does Stuart Oliver on his tail. Ricky Collett trying to get up the outside. Smith will just about have the advantage into the first corner. Michael Oliver caught in the middle slightly there, further back, and John Powell round the outside, leans on Paul Rivett's contact there. Powell's going to run out wide over the curb. A bit of contact again between the two of them. They bounce off each other. Surprised that at least one of them wasn't sent spinning. Something flew off. I don't know whether that was from Rivett or Powell. And side by side further ahead, John Bowler and Ricky Collett. So a bit of a frantic start to this one. Paul Rivett's smoke off the left front of his truck. I wonder if he's had a tyre let go there. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's going off. It's the rear tyre, not the front. Yes, I think he's got a puncture there, Paul Rivett. So is that going to be another pit visit for the 22? There was contact there, definitely. And I wonder if John Powell's wounded as well. Yes, he's slowing down. So they're both wounded as a result of that contact. Yeah, Paul Rivett, you can see him sliding about there. There's the punctured tyre, damaged rear wheel. And he's going to be heading for the pits. I wonder if that truck's dropping fluid as well. John Powell we saw slowing up as well in the number 6, so they both come to grief as a result of that collision. There's John Powell at the back. OK, we'll pick up the Division 1 leaders as they cross the line. Ryan Smith's got the lead ahead of Stuart Oliver and David Jenkins. We've seen that before. We'll see what's happened to John Powell, hopefully, as well. Over the line they go. Here comes David Jenkins having a look for second place. Stuart Oliver closes off the door on him into Redgate. It's Daimler Freightliner, Volvo, MAN at the front. Bradley Smith in 4th, then Simon Reed, Michael Oliver. Looks like Ricky Collett up to 7th. He's got away well, our camera truck. Down the Craner curves they go, and they're not letting Ryan Smith get away here. And Stuart Oliver is not letting David Jenkins get up alongside him. Out of the old hairpin they go. Here comes Jenkins again. He's determined here. He's still yet to win in 2023. And a spinner, that's Neil Yates. Kept it off the barriers this time, that's at Redgate. and he gets it going again. They're right on the back of Ryan Smith here. Normally we see Ryan start to charge away at the front, but he's not able to get away this time. Has he got the setup wrong, or is there a slight problem for the number one? Jenkins is so much quicker than Stuart Oliver. Look, coming off into the exhibition straight. Oliver's leaning on him. Oh, look at this, they push each other onto the grass. Whoa, there's a bit of needle creeping into this, and Jenkins has lost out to Bradley Smith and Simon Reed. Jenkins is going to be angry at that. That was like motorised rugby down the straight there, the way they pushed each other across onto the grass. And now, oh, what's going on here? Now Michael Oliver's hit David Jenkins. This is more like saloon stock car racing. Oh, David Jenkins is certainly going to be angry if he wasn't before. Here comes Ricky Collett now in the 95. Closing up on Simon Reed now in the 89. That's for what is now 4th position. Now, has Paul Rivett headed for the pits? No, I think he's still going. OK, things settle down again. Then it's Smith from Oliver. Well, we said Ryan Smith wasn't getting away, but that bit of push and shove has allowed him to get away now. Through go the rest of Division 1. Who's leading Division 2? It is still Paul Rivett, according to my timing screen. Well, I don't think he is. Well, he's still going in the 22. Is he still at the front of Division 2? Yes, he is. I thought he'd dropped back. But no, it is still Rivett from Binton Evans in Division 2. With that damage to the wheel, I really thought he would drop away. That's good driving by Paul Rivett. He's keeping it going. I thought he'd got a punctured tyre, but no, it's holding up OK. Adam Binton second, a better run from him. No turbo problems this time. Ricky Collett at the front. Michael Oliver pushing again. We see it from Ricky Collett's rear view camera. Well, Michael Oliver certainly being a bit over-aggressive through the chicane, I would say, in my opinion, in this race. He's already hit David Jenkins. Jenkins is still in P5, though, chasing Simon Reed. There's Craig Reed, under fire from John Bowler in the 14, and Stephen Powell in the number 3. So Collett heads this group. This is for 6th position, because Jenkins has got away a little bit in front of them. There we just see the Morris Lubricants banner in the foreground. John Bowler got a bit sideways there as he chases Ricky Collett and company through McLean's. Still your leader is Ryan Smith, 1.8 seconds clear now. But he wasn't getting away from Oliver and Jenkins until they started pushing each other around. On board with Ricky Collett. Under fire from Craig Reed and Michael Oliver. They're lapping John Powell's rather hobbled DAF. Won't be a repeat Division 2 victory for him in this one. Over the line they go. They mentioned Simon Cole was in the pit lane. Unfortunately, he failed to take the start. He went back into the paddock, I can tell you, the 41. He did come out of the assembly area, but didn't start the race, unfortunately. So more problems, sadly, for Cole. Ryan Smith leads by 2.3 seconds. 1:26.729 his quickest lap of the race. Then Stuart Oliver, Bradley Smith up there in 3rd. The best he's had this year is a 2nd at Thruxton last time out. But trying to usurp him from a podium place here is Simon Reed in the 89 in the Iveco. Here they are at McLean's. David Jenkins behind them. There's Neil Yates, our newcomer, his 2nd meeting in the championship. He's got ahead of Jim Bennett in the Seth Atkinson. Certainly a fan's favourite is Gentleman Jim. Races purely for enjoyment. Well, we say motorsport should be fun. I'm running wide. Adam Binton, Craig Evans. Craig Evans has lost a lot of ground there to Adam Bint. This is for second in Division 2 behind Paul Rivette in his slightly battered MAN. Fourth in Division 2 is Bennett, and of course John Powell is now a couple of laps down. David Jenkins up the inside can't quite get past Simon Reed. Through towards the Craner curves they go once again. We're just past half distance. There is Adam Bint. Now, how far behind Paul Rivette is the Volvo White Aerodyne? Crosses the line just over 3 seconds back. David Jenkins all over Simon Reed. Then we've got the next group, Collins, Michael Oliver and Craig Reed. Next is John Bowler. He's fighting with Stephen Powell. So nice little battles continuing to develop everywhere you look. Still your leader is Ryan Smith from Stuart Oliver. 2.2 seconds is the gap, but Oliver has now got the fastest lap of the race, 1:26.247. Let's see if he improves that this time through. You can see it's drying out there because everybody virtually has recorded personal bests on the last lap. Has the gap come down? No, it's increased again. Ryan Smith responds, 1:26.145 for Flying Ryan. Here comes Jenkins again. No, he's not close enough. Bradley Smith driving superbly up there in third place. Side by side further back, Craig Reed and Michael Oliver almost leaning on each other. Can they get side by side down the Craner curves? Craig Reed pulls ahead. John Bowler right behind them. Craig Reed holds the place into the old hairpin. You won't get through there. You won't get two trucks side by side through there. Battle for second in Division 2. There's Paul Rivette in the background leading Division 2. Craig Evans trying to get onto level terms with Adam Bint. Still this battle for third in Division 1 races on. Bradley Smith's run a little bit wide there coming off Coppice. 5 minutes to go. Oh, Jim Bennett slowing. Is he slowing up just to let the quicker runners through there, though? I think so. Down into the chicane. No, Jim Bennett has got a problem. I think he's going very slowly there as the rest of Division 1 gets through. Stephen Powell all over the tail of John Bowler. They've been scrapping all race long. Ryan Smith missing all the fun out front. There's John Powell also going extremely slowly. Oh, we're going to have a couple of retirements on our hands here. They'll want to try and finish, of course, because they'll figure in the reverse grids for race 4. Race 1 gives the grid for race 3. Race 2 gives the grid for race 4. 4 minutes to go. Is that Adam Bint? Is he having the same problem as before? That looks like it's, yes, black smoke, and he's slowing up again, I think. What was Adam Bint's lap time? No, he's lost second to Craig Evans. Yeah, I think he's in problems with his turbo again. Because there's Evans up the road. Adam Bint's in trouble again. And that smoke looks suspiciously like the same as we saw in race 1 with the turbo pipe having failed. Oh, poor Adam Bint. Now, David Jenkins with a better run on Simon Reed this time. But again, Reed holds the line. David Jenkins getting frustrated. He'll be frustrated anyway after that bit of contact with Stuart Oliver earlier on. Is Stuart Oliver. Now 3.1 seconds behind Ryan Smith. Then the fight for 6th. Here comes Craig Reed around the outside. We're on board with Ricky Collins. Michael Oliver, Stephen Powell has got ahead of John Bowler behind them. Up into 9th position. Tom O'Rourke behind. We've not seen much of Tom O'Rourke so far this weekend. Small gap behind him for Simon Faulkner. A little bit of a lock-up there possibly from Ricky Collins. Here comes Craig Reed right on his tail. The fastest lap of the race for Ryan Smith, 125.955. He's under the 126 bracket. Still Bradley Smith hanging on in that third place. 2 minutes to go. This time David Jenkins hanging back because Simon Reed is having a go in turn at Bradley Smith for that third place. Lead gap is still 3.1 seconds for Ryan Smith, heading for win number 10 this season. Paul Rivett, it'll be win number 5 in Division 2 if he hangs on in front despite that knock early on in the race. We finally have the change for 6th place there. Craig Reed is through on Ricky Collins at Redgates. So the Iveco ahead of the MAN. We've lost Jim Bennett, unfortunately. He's dropped out of the race. I thought he may have a problem. Less than a minute on the clock now, though, so it'll be last lap this time for Ryan Smith. He's checked out once again. Into the chicane. He's got John Powell ahead of him there in his struggling MAN. Now, can Stuart Oliver close back up again on the final lap? Well, he has a little because Ryan Smith was briefly delayed by that back marker, and there's another back marker there, Adam Binns. This is exactly what Stuart Oliver wants. He took a second out of Ryan Smith on that last lap, so this is not over yet. Paul Rivett still leads Division 2. He's nearly 10 seconds clear of Craig Evans now, with Adam Binns having slowed. Here's the battle for third, still Bradley Smith holding on. But can Stuart Oliver catch Ryan Smith? He has got the gap down a little. He took a second out of him on the previous lap because Ryan Smith was, I think it's just because he was delayed by back markers. Now the third place fight has got to negotiate Adam Binns. I think Ryan Smith is going to hang on. The gap did come down a little. Into Coppice for the last time. Clock has counted down to 0, so the checkered flag is awaiting him. It's going to be double figures for the season for Ryan Smith as he continues his march towards an 8th British truck racing title. Here he comes into the chicane. Stuart Oliver has closed a little, but it's going to be too late. Ryan Smith will win it ahead of Stuart Oliver. Across the line they come now. What's going to happen for third place behind them? And indeed for 6th. Here's the third place fight. Bradley Smith has hung on all the way, and he takes third ahead of Simon Reed and David Jenkins, but only just. Who's going to be 6th? Here he comes. It's going to be Craig Reed. Good run by him. The rest of them come across the line. 7th place goes to Ricky Collins, just ahead of Stephen Powell. And who's going to be 8th? It's yes, Powell is 8th. Simon O'Rourke 9th, I should say, ahead of Michael Oliver and John Bowler. Yes, Bowler struggling in the closing stage. A bit of smoke from his truck as well. Yes, his last lap time 11 seconds slower than his quickest. Meanwhile, in Division 2, a bit of a race of attrition for them. In P13, it is Paul Rivett who is going to take win number 5 for him this season. Despite that first lap collision with John Powell, there is Powell a few laps down. Paul Rivett takes the win. Craig Evans will come over in 2nd, and 3rd in Division 2 will be Adam Binns. Well, Ryan Smith taking the win. Stuart Oliver closed in the closing stage. He's got the fastest lap of 125.950. Bad luck Jim Bennett, he's parked up on the Melbourne Loop, a non-finisher. but all the other 17 drivers made it home. Okay, provisional result then on British Truck Racing race number 2. Ryan Smith the winner by 1.9 seconds ahead of Stuart Oliver. Bradley Smith on the podium in third, having held off Simon Reed and David Jenkins all the way. Craig Reed topped the battle for 6th ahead of Ricky Collins and Stephen Powell, so Powell will have pole for race 4. 9th for Tom O'Rourke ahead of Michael Oliver, John Bowler and Simon Faulkner. Paul Rivett wins Division 2 in 13th overall ahead of Craig Evans. Then Neil Yates was 15th, Adam Bint slowing in the closing laps, he was 16th, and John Powell a couple of laps down the final finisher. Jim Bennett's the only retirement. Okay, let's head down to Parc Ferme with Pointy to hear from some of the drivers.
Well, what a fantastic result. We had some serious bump and tickle going on in that race, but second race of the British trucks here at Donington Park saw a good result for Ryan Smith, of course, as we would expect. Stuart Oliver in the second place, some fantastic driving from him. He really pushed it to the limit. And then behind him, yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, the young Bradley Smith taking his first podium of the weekend, first of many perhaps, only time will tell. We'll wait for some of the drivers to get out of the trucks because I know it takes a little while to unhook them all. Stuart Oliver just unhooking himself. If you can see how well they're strapped in, they have so many things attached to them whilst they're in these racing trucks. Helmets, hands devices to hold their heads still. They've got earphones, they've got transponders, they've got radios. They've got the seatbelt, which believe it or not is relatively important as well. Oh, and Stuart's got his glasses as well. That's an extra thing. We'll just wait for him to climb out so the door doesn't hit both of us, because otherwise it could get quite tricky holding it open. And Ryan Smith's got himself out as well, ladies and gentlemen. Right, Stuart Oliver, what a drive that was.
Yeah, that was good, that. I knew that. I didn't think Dave and Ryan were as friendly as what they are, but obviously they've kicked off a bit of a relationship where they're playing together, and that nearly ended in tears there with Dave trying to T-bone us off. But I survived and he came off worse, so we'll see what happens.
Indeed, yes, we saw that. It could go either way, the scrutineer's decision, so we'll have to wait and see. Don't hold your breath, you never know. Ryan, come on in.
Thanks for that. I owe you one.
Quite the experience for the viewers at home. We saw some close shaves there, but you know, again, very clean race. No red flags for you guys. And how was the track condition out there after we've had a bit of wind?
Well, I went majorly defensive because Arnie come on radio and said Paul Rivette's dropping diesel or something.
Oh,
I think
no.
It turns out it's water, but strange race really, because first part Stuart was all over me because I was cautious of the second part. I went a bit and got a 3.6 second gap, and then the second part of the race we come to a little bit of back markers, and I knew he got the gap down to 2 seconds. So
he did start hunting you down that second half of the race.
And we was playing fast. He was getting the fastest lap I was, so he was going back and forth. And you know, when you're out in front and you know track conditions are all right, and you kind of push a bit more for lap, and you do. But no, we were a good race really. It gave me a good start really, because I got a bad start, and I just like
all of a sudden you're like,
I give him another 1,000 odd horsepower.
I'm accelerating all of a sudden.
Yeah, that was lovely. I'll take that.
Rubbing's racing, just depends what side you're getting rubbed on. That's the thing.
And we beat the weather, so I think we're in some rain. And listen,
no, stay positive. Rain's not coming. It's okay.
Fun starts tomorrow, don't it? Reverse grid. So let's.
Oh yes, that will be true. Reverse grid tomorrow, which will place you where? Let's go on the fact you've just finished second.
7 and 7, wouldn't it be? For both
7 and 7. Oh my goodness. So that'll be quite an interesting battle.
Yeah. That's when.
And to have Ryan behind you as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I'll be alongside him probably, and that's when the.
No, he'll be behind
stops
you.
And he'll be behind me. He'll be behind me. Yeah. That's right. We just need to make that last a bit longer and happen more often. But no, it should be good. Tomorrow will be good.
Fantastic. Well, Stuart, well done. Congratulations. Great race. Great finish for the day for the Division 1 and 2 trucks. We've still, of course, got one international truck pre-race left. And as they quite rightly said, it does appear to be starting to rain over here at Parc Ferme. Can I see Bradley Smith? He's completely disappeared. He's not in his truck. Here he is. Get him to come to me. Nothing like getting the truck in the background. Number 46, Bradley Smith. Congratulations, sir. How do you feel?
Oh, it's good to get a podium. First race weekend there, and even better after last year's disaster. So.
Indeed, I think they owed it you by then.
Yeah, so we had a fourth and a third today. Couldn't be happier. Good for the sponsors. Good turnout here. Raining now, but it's been a good day.
Yeah, I think we're all just going to run for cover if anything like earlier on happens again. We'll all be soaked down to the bone.
Yeah, definitely. Big downpour, but it's good. It dried for our race. Brilliant racing. It was the best race ever. Craig Reed was all. Simon Reed was hunting me down. It's usually Craig, but it's Simon this time.
Yeah.
And
you two were on top of each other for so much in that race.
I felt I was looking at my camera more. I was looking forward to see what he was doing, but I learned so much that racing. Good racing. Trucks are all in one piece, so happy.
Truck in one piece is how we like to keep it. Well, Bradley, massive congratulations. Can't wait to hand out your first trophy of the weekend later on. Bradley Smith, ladies and gentlemen.
Total Care's T8 range of mobile column lifts provides a highly flexible lifting solution for any commercial vehicle workshop. Easy to manoeuvre, the columns can be used across different lifting bays within the workshop and can be stored out of the way when not in use. The super strong lifts can support up to a 7,500 kilogram capacity per column and can be configured in sets of 4, 6 or 8. Adjustable wheel forks provide flexibility for lifting a variety of vehicles and wheel diameters. Speak to our team today for more information or a bespoke quote.
Have you seen this trailer? If you have, take a photo when safe and then send it to us. All for a chance to win one of our 5 miniature truck and trailers.
Morning everybody. Yes, welcome to Donington Park, and it is of course raining once again despite the weather forecast saying it should be sunny right now. How untrue is that? So wet in fact that we couldn't even get Pointy out of bed this morning. Don't know where he is right now, pottering about somewhere no doubt. Right, the 3rd British truck racing race is about to get underway, the opening race of the day. In fact, we've got a total of 5 truck races going out on track at Donington today with the International Truck Prix races, 2 of those a little bit later and 3 British truck racing races. We've also got the Intermarquee Silhouettes going out, we've got the CNC heads, the pickup trucks, and the Kumo BMW Championship is here today as well. All live on the Bark channel, so you can make sure you tune in and watch it all. Let's go for a little walk, shall we? As you can see, the trucks are just lining up behind us. Let's go see if we can grab a quick word with 1 or 2 of the drivers, shall we? Craig Reed is up here. I wonder if we can have a quick chat with him. He's just chatting to his engineer at the minute, but we'll jump in very quickly if we can. Sorry to interrupt, guys. Craig, I know you're a busy man. Do you like the wet?
Yes, I do, mate. Very much so. Brands Hatch more, though, to be honest.
What have you made of Convoy in the Park so far this weekend?
Just great. Seeing a lot of faces which don't come to all the events that are coming to this event. Just great, to be honest with you. We've got a lot of, because we're local, only 45 minutes away, we've got a lot of family and friends here. And I went over to the show trucks. It's amazing, to be honest with you. So yeah, great.
1,500 show trucks. It's a real exhibition, isn't it?
Oh, honestly, this is going to be one of the biggest. You know, when you've got like your truck fest and that, this is going to be one of the biggest. And the truck racing just hypes you right up there, doesn't it? So yeah, it's great, great.
Let's talk about this race. Of course, you're in prime position here. We're going to get the W.
Yes, yeah. To be honest with you, this truck is good. The only sceptical is that I need more rain. That it's not enough rain. This is greasy rain. I want more rain. So, but I think once we get into a rhythm, it'll be fine. I think the problem we're going to have is everyone's going to be a little bit shell shocked at first, because of how, just because we've been racing dry. But all yesterday, even when it rained, it was dry in the next race. So, but no, I think the track, now they've resurfaced it, is amazing.
Is there an opportunity here then? Because you're talking about greasy rain. Is there perhaps a little bit more grip than people might think there is there?
Yeah, to be honest with you, you won't believe how much it is. It is a bit like dancing on ice, as we always say. But once you've got the advantage with the rear grip, you're pretty much there. It does neutralise everyone a bit though. But I think some people will be a bit hot-headed this morning, and there'll be some action, I tell you.
Craig, thanks so much. Best of luck out there, mate. Great to talk to you. Let's keep going round. Actually, see if anybody's got the doors open. We can have a quick chat. Number 86 over here as well. Let's just see how they're feeling ahead of this one. Of course, greasy conditions, but perhaps a little bit more grip than we might think. Tom's here. Tom, how are we feeling? Ready for this?
I'm ready to go, yeah.
Craig is feeling a bit racy over there, but we know you're going to go for it.
No, I quite like the wet.
Yeah.
I quite like the rain.
It's a good job, isn't it? Because this weekend has been unbelievable, isn't it?
Oh, it has. So we've had a difficult start to the season, but it was good to get a good day's racing and finish 2 races yesterday, so I really look forward to this.
Is that what it's about, a bit of consistency? Because 3 races today, there's lots of opportunities, isn't there?
Oh, there is, and they're quite well spaced out as well, so.
Yeah.
But I think the track will be greasy.
Yeah.
So, should be carnage in the first corner, I would think.
So best of luck.
Hopefully I'm not involved.
You won't. No, absolutely not. So there we go. That's Craig, and that's Tom O'Rourke there. Craig Reed also saying expecting a bit of carnage early doors in this race. Let's just move down the middle, shall we? Let's get a feel for this. In fact, let's have a look at these absolute heavyweight engines, shall we, as well? Look at these roughly 5-ton trucks or so. Look at somebody wants to have a quick chat with us over here. Let's go and have a quick chat with Dave Jenkins, shall we? It's always good to see Dave. Dave, how you doing, mate? You all right? It's great to see you.
Very well, thank you.
Right, tell us what you made of Convoy in the Park here at Donington Park 2023.
It's just been the most amazing event. The enthusiasm from the crowd, the racing, the volume of racing, it's all been brilliant. So, so far so good.
Do you think there's a bit of an opportunity then? This is race 3, of course. Greasy conditions out there, but opportunities.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. We've not driven the new tarmac at Donington in the rain yet. I did watch the European race with interest yesterday. So, steady, see how we go, I think.
It's going to be a lot of fun, isn't it, Dave? Best of luck. Thanks for talking to us. Really appreciate it. Great to see you as well. How nice is that? Here's your championship leader as well. In fact, I think we're going to be going, actually. So, the trucks are lining up. They're going out on track. They're literally moving right now. Dave, over to you. Enjoy this one, everybody. It's going to be a cracker.
It certainly is going to be a cracker. Thanks, Ian. We're ready for our first truck race of the day then. We've got a huge programme of 5 truck races to get through on our second day here at Convoy in the Park. There's a whole host of other attractions here at Donington as well, almost too many to go through. We'll try to do that a little bit later on. We're almost ready now for our first race of the day. Race 3 out of 5 this weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. The grid decided by the results of race 1 yesterday, with the top 8 in each division reversed. So finishing in 8th place in race 1 was Craig Reed in number 68 with his Iveco. He starts on pole alongside number 86, the Scotsman Tom O'Rourke with his MAN. Second row, number 12, Michael Oliver, and 89, Simon Reed, brother of Craig, on row 2 with his Iveco. Row 3, number 46, Bradley Smith, the youngest man on the grid, and 69, David Jenkins. Row 4, number 7, Stuart Oliver, father of Michael, 10 times British champion, 1-time European champion as well, and number 1, Ryan Smith, going for his 8th consecutive British title this year. Winner of the 2 races yesterday in Division 1, he starts 8th in his Daimler Freightliner. On row 5, number 3, Stephen Powell. Problems in qualifying hindered him slightly yesterday. The number 3 alongside the 14 of John Bowler. Fair play to John. He's contesting all 9 races this weekend. He's competing in the International Truck Prix as well. And on row 6 of the grid, number 95, Ricky Collett, the Yorkshireman, in his MAN alongside Simon Faulkner, number 92, with his Iveco. Then there's a gap. We've got the slightly less powerful Division 2 trucks, and they're headed up by Paul Rivette, number 22. He won the second race yesterday. Starts alongside Adam Bint, number 5, with his Volvo Whites. Both of those trucks suffered turbo problems in race 1 yesterday, so finished at the back in Division 2. Therefore, they moved to the front of the grid for this one. Second row of the Division 2 grid, Jim Bennett, Gentleman Jim, in his Seth Atkinson, number 28, 74 years young. Starts alongside 41 Simon Cole with his new Iveco, switching from Division 1 to 2 this weekend. Next on the grid, number 10, Craig Evans with his MAN, alongside yesterday's Race 1 winner John Powell in his DAF. And at the back, we've got a Division 1 truck. It's Neil Yates, number 33. It's his first time in Division 1, first time in that MAN, so he's requested to start from the back. Neil Yates, of course, some of you will know the previous round at Thruxton, he was racing in Division 2, had a big accident and ended up vaulting the barriers after his throttle stuck open going into Allard. Thankfully, everyone was okay. Neil out in a new truck this weekend. Just looking down at the grid out of the commentary box window, I don't think Simon Faulkner is there, unfortunately, so he may be missing one of our Division 1 trucks. So Ryan Smith will go for a hat-trick, but he's got to fight his way through straight on the grid. Drizzly weather here at Donington, so it's going to be slip and slide, especially in the early laps here of the Donington Park National Circuit. 11 races in total to get through today. This will be a 15-minute race for the British Truck Racing Championship. Settling in there, ready for day 2 here at Convoy in the park. Hundreds of show trucks in the paddock and on the infield. We've got so many other attractions. You can even try driving an HGV for yourself, courtesy of Taylor's Haulage. They've got one of their trucks here in the paddock. On board with Tom O'Rourke on the outside of the front row, the number 86 MV Commercial MAN. There's our pace truck ahead as we go into Redgate Corner. The long right-hander, quite easy to run wide into the gravel there. Out behind Redgate is our area we're seeing the Formula 1 stock car demonstrations. We've got rallycross and rally cars here as well. Truck drifting, even a caravan smash-up later on. Then it's down Hollywood and the drop down the fearsome Craner curve. Such a spectacular section of circuit named after motorcycle star Fred Craner. Craig Reed's Iveco on pole, one of a number of Midlands-based drivers from Stoke. Tom O'Rourke all the way from Livingston in Scotland. Michael Oliver from Hexham in Northumberland. Then the second of the Reeds, that's Simon, the identical Ivecos. Bradley Smith looking for his first British Championship win, the young gun in the 46 MAN, the blue, white and green truck alongside David Jenkins. David's yet to win this year, quite surprisingly for the former champion. Ryan Smith there in the Dayglow yellow and blue number 1 Daimler Freightliner, looking for his 11th win of the season. Starts alongside Stuart Oliver, he looks for win number 4. 17 British titles between those two. And a European title for Stuart Oliver a few years ago as well. Division 2, meanwhile, the reigning British Division 2 champion Luke Garrett is here this weekend, competing in the International Truck Prix races. He does want to make a British Championship comeback next year. There's Division 2, the slightly less powerful machines. We look back from Michael Oliver's truck, heading up through the right-hander at McLean's Corner. Then the climb up to Coppice under the flight path of East Midlands Airport, it's just next door to Donington Park. Coppice, the tricky double apex right-hander, and because of the rise of the hill, so it's hard to see the apex as you turn in there. Next along the exhibition straight down into Roberts Chicane. There you can see first apex. There's the second. Okay, 15 minutes of racing to come then here at a drizzly Donington. Day 2 of Convoy in the Park 2023. We certainly have got ourselves a convoy. I'm not going to sing the song, don't worry. All the drivers with wipers going, their headlights on. These 12 and 13 litre, 5-ton, near 1,000 horsepower machines, all limited to 100 miles an hour. It's time to go racing here at Donington Park. British Truck Racing Championship race number 3 of the weekend. Can Ryan Smith take a hat-trick? Wins yesterday for John Powell and Paul Rivette in Division 2. Here we go then, the pack about to be unleashed for 15 minutes of racing. Here we go. And the pack is away, down towards Redgate Corner for the first time. Craig Reed gets away well. Simon Reed going well up the outside as well. John Bowler, number 14, tries to squeeze his way down the outside. Looks like they're all going to get through Redgate. Ryan Smith's been crowded out. Stephen Powell gets around the outside. Paul Rivett leads Division 2 ahead of Adam Bint in the Volvo Whites. The Volvo Black and Orange, it should be called. See the amount of spray being thrown up by these GT tyres as they head down the drop into the Craner curve. Looks like it's Craig Reed in the clear ahead of Tom O'Rourke. Michael Oliver is third. David Jenkins has got away well. He's up into fourth place. Ryan Smith currently stuck behind Bradley Smith in the 46. Donington, not the easiest circuit to overtake on in a truck. Takes plenty of skill. Here comes Ryan Smith on the back of Bradley Smith. No relation, those two. Ryan going around the outside. They go through Schwantz curve, named after Kevin Schwantz, the motorcycle legend. There's Division 2 back. There's Simon Cole. Good to see him back out. Had some problems yesterday. Stuart Oliver has a look as Bradley Smith. Ryan Smith's already gone through. You saw him get a wheel onto the curb and just flick the tail sideways. The painted curbs here can spin you out in wet conditions like this if you get a rear wheel onto them. Everybody makes their way through Coppice okay for the first time. Craig Reed in the Reed Freight Iveco Stralis leads the way by a few truck lengths ahead of the 86 of Tom O'Rourke, the MV Commercial MAN second. Michael Oliver in the Team Oliver Racing GT Tyre sponsored MAN is third. Had one win earlier this year at Pembrey in Wales. On board with Michael Oliver, chased by David Jenkins. They come out of the chicane. That's the Hospitality Suites down the pit straight, the Wheatcroft Straight. It's named after Tom Wheatcroft, who revived racing here at Donington in the 70s. Of course, the famous pre-war venue, Donington Park. Ryan Smith has a look up the inside. He's on the grass there, attacking Simon Reed. There's no room there to get through. Ryan's getting a little over-eager there. He really is a win-at-all-costs driver. David Jenkins getting through there past Michael Oliver up into third at the top of the Craner curve. There's been a little bit of contact there. You can see a rear wheel arch has come loose on the MV Commercials Freyhouse Trailers MAN of Tom O'Rourke. Simon Reed fifth, Ryan Smith in sixth, then Bradley Smith, John Bowler. Stuart Oliver's quite a way down the order. Then it's Ricky Collett, Stephen Powell, and there's our Division 2 leader, Paul Rivett. The rain proving something of a leveller here because the Division 2 trucks, which are a little less powerful, able to keep up with the Division 1s. So it's Paul Rivett from Adam Bint and John Powell in Division 2. Fourth behind them is Simon Cole in the pink and whites Iveco. It's first time in the Iveco this weekend. Ran MAN in Division 1 for the first half of this season. But repeated mechanical problems with the 41 MAN has led to him switching into Division 2 with the Iveco. Looking back then from Michael Oliver, Simon Reed chasing. Here comes Ryan Smith up the outside. Flying Ryan looking for a hat-trick. He's got his work cut out here though. Craig Reed is in the clear. He's had just one win in his Division 1 career. The very last race of 2022 at Brands Hatch on Bonfire Weekend he took a win. Slide the way out of the chicane. Down the straight. There is Reed in the clear. David Jenkins under fire from Michael Oliver and Simon Reed. Jenkins, the Digraph Transport Morris Lubricants MAN. He's right on the tail of Tom O'Rourke. Michael Oliver trying to go around the outside. The number 12 gets out onto the curb. Needs to be careful. They see him sliding there on that painted bit of curbing. And he does not want to be pinged for track limits either. We've seen track limits penalties on a few occasions this weekend. One of our pickup truck racers actually got so many penalties in their second race yesterday. He was disqualified. Ryan Smith up the inside attacks Michael Oliver. He's going to go through at the old hairpin. There's not much room to go side by side there. Michael Oliver keeps his foot in. He's going to almost spin out. Yeah, he's onto the grass there. Michael Oliver, he really should have given Ryan Smith some room because he's just going to spin out. There's no grip on the grass at all. Round he goes. You could see that coming from the moment they went into the old hairpin. Should really have lifted off, I think, and given Ryan Smith the racing room there, but he kept his foot in, tried to stay on the outside, got out onto the paint and then the grass, and round he went. There was only one outcome there. Now hopefully Michael Oliver can get that MAN going again, because if he's stuck there the race might be stopped. So now that's Ryan Smith up into 5th place. His next target is Simon Reed, whose brother Craig is over 3 seconds clear in this race 1 of the day, 3rd of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. Into the chicane they come. O'Rourke 2nd, Jenkins 3rd. There's Michael Oliver. He's got going again. Breezes round the outside of the elder statesman of the championship, Jim Bennett, in his classic Seth Atkinson. Real proud favourite is Gentleman Jim. Over the line comes this very busy battle for second place. Looks like the M6 on a bad day, doesn't it? When is it ever not a bad day on the M6, I hear you say? Especially in the West Midlands. 68 Craig Reed, I think sliding there as he comes down the Craner curves. Perhaps a bit of showboating there. O'Rourke going well in second place. His only win in British truck racing, if memory serves me right, was here at Donington a couple of years ago. Ryan Smith on the inside is going to try again at the old hairpin on Simon Reed. Again, Reed keeps it there on the outside. He doesn't want to do what Michael Oliver did. No, he moves back onto the tarmac, giving Ryan Smith a bit more room. And Smith goes through. So that's Ryan Smith's preferred tactic. Get down the inside at the old hairpin. Quiet race for Stuart Oliver. He's back in 9th place. Craig Reed's got the fastest lap, 1:35.908. Here comes David Jenkins having a look on the inside at Coppis, trying to get through the P2. Ryan Smith now in P4. Who's leading Division 2? Let's look back on the timing screen. Paul Rivette still in front there, looking for his second win of the weekend. After a stuttering start to the season, Paul Rivette needs the points to try and catch Adam Bint and John Powell, who are together at the top of the points chart. And David Jenkins leaning on Tom O'Rourke there. He bobs back in behind, only just in time to take the chicane. He will not fit two trucks side by side through there. Flying Ryan Smith in 4th place. Moves up on the outside of Jenkins. They've had a big rivalry over the years, these two. Look at Stuart Oliver in the background, dodging about on the tail of John Busy Bowler. Smith on the outside, he won't get the line away for Redgate. If anything, it's getting a bit wetter out there, I think. Now to the inside, they can't go 3 wide into the Craner curve, sure. Very busy behind as well. It's these 4 line astern for second place. The main battle at the moment, so Rourke, Jenkins, Smith and Reed. Next through is Ricky Collins. He's going well, the heavy haulage boss from Halifax in his number 95 MAN. Then it's Bradley Smith, John Bowler, Stuart Oliver and Stephen Powell, the man from Kent, near neighbour of Brands Hatch circuit. Along the bottom of the circuit they go. Craig Reed's lead is over 4 seconds now. This is the fight per second. They're rather bottled up behind Tom O'Rourke here. He's the cork in the bottle, as they say. Once Jenkins and Smith can try and get him out of the way, they will go after Craig Reed. But this is ideal for Craig at the moment. There's Neil Yates, our newcomer, only his second weekend in truck racing. And he's got some trucks from his recovery firm on display in the paddock this weekend, including a huge American Lone Star recovery truck. Absolutely beautiful machine down in the paddock, just on the edge of the truck racing paddock. If you are here this weekend, do go and take a look at that gorgeous American beast. Neil Yates currently towards the tail of the field. He's in P16. Here comes Ryan Smith. He's going for 3rd place. Almost leans on David Jenkins. Is he going to get around the outside of O'Rourke as well? Can Ryan Smith get the line here into Redgate? No. David Jenkins, the man from Stafford, holds the place. Simon Reed hanging on as well. And this is going to allow the rest of the pack to tow up. And David Jenkins leans on Ryan Smith there, coming through Hollywood towards the top of the Craners. And Smith's got the inside line. He'll get through into P3. This is much more competitive and close than we saw yesterday, it has to be said. Plenty more overtaking. Look at Ricky Collins, he's loving this in the 95. One of the best races he's had so far this year. Chasing now Simon Reed for 5th place. Bradley Smith is 7th. Craig Reed still in front, looking for only his 2nd Division 1 victory of his career. He's a former Division 2 champion. There's Adam Bint, still 2nd in Division 2 behind Paul Rivette. 3rd now is John Powell. He's got ahead of Simon Cole. He's dropped back to 5th in Division 2 behind Craig Evans. Jim Bennett at the tail of the pack. There's Stuart Oliver, chased by Stephen Powell. It's been a quiet weekend for Stephen Powell. Had a few issues in qualifying, ended up only doing 1 flying lap and ended up at the back of the grid in yesterday's 2 races. Here comes Powell. Now is that spray or is that smoke from somebody? Up the inside, Stephen Powell takes Stuart Oliver into the chicane. That's a good move by Stephen Powell. And Stuart Oliver, if anything, is being caught by the Division 2 trucks. Has Stuart Oliver got a problem here, I wonder? Because he's dropping back. This isn't like Stuart Oliver at all. Round the outside comes Ryan Smith. He's going to go into 2nd place. He's got ahead of Jenkins. He's now ahead of Tom O'Rourke. around the outside into Redgate. Now, outside into Redgate rarely works in the dry, never mind in the wet, so I'm wondering if Tom O'Rourke's got an issue there. He seemed to be slowing a little. Somebody is smoking in there, you can see. That's not just spray from the rain, we can see some smoke there. There's a bit of smoke from Ryan Smith. Is he having some sort of a problem? He's up there in second. O'Rourke is now third, then Jenkins, Simon Reed, Collett, Smith, Bowler, Powell, Oliver. There's Simon Cole in the number 41. Used to race the Mercedes Beast, as it was known. Yes, there is a little bit of smoke there from Ryan Smith's truck, but it's not slowing him down. If you see steam, incidentally, coming off the wheels of these trucks, that's because they have water-cooled brakes. There's Michael Oliver recovering from his spin earlier on. He's down in 15th overall, 11th in Division 1. Chasing down Craig Evans, who is 4th in Division 2 with his MAN. Ryan Smokey Smith in second place. The gap is coming down. Yes, you can see they're catching Craig Reed. Now that Ryan Smith's got past Tom O'Rourke, he's free to go after the race leader. We've got just over 3.5 minutes to go, so a couple more laps to go. Bradley Smith with the fastest lap, that's a surprise, 1:34.833 for the 46, you can see him in the background. David Jenkins weaving about on the tail of Tom O'Rourke, trying for third place. I reckon O'Rourke must have just been slow off the chicane, that's how he lost out to Ryan Smith. Simon Reed still in there. Paul Rivette still leads Division 2. Down the Craners into the right-hander. David Jenkins still shadowing Tom O'Rourke, who wants to hold on for a podium. Truck 41 of Simon Cole has been given a 5-second penalty. That's for exceeding track limits. Your first couple of offences you get a warning flag. Third offence you get a 5-second penalty. Well, this is great running by Tom O'Rourke. If he can hang on here, the best he's had this year is 7th place at Brands Hatch at the season opener at Easter. Can he hang on for a first podium of the season here? David Jenkins behind him. Been a frustrating season for David Jenkins. Craig Reed going superbly. Best result he's had is a second at Pembrey earlier this year in Wales. Ryan Smith looking for his 11th win of the season. Just over 2 minutes to go, so I think we'll get 2 more laps out of this. There's Ricky Collett. Certainly enjoying the damp conditions here. Ricky Collett normally to be found in the lower reaches of the top 10. His best result, a couple of 7th places this year, so he's on for P6. The rain proving a bit of a leveller here. Now, what's the lead gap? Let's have a look what it was as they came over the line. It's down to just over a second now. Ryan Smith is reeling in. He's just on the fastest lap, 1:34.779. We could be in for a grandstand finish here. Tom O'Rourke runs a bit deep through the Craner curve. He's holding off Jenkins. He'll have the inside for the old hairpin. Now, can Craig Reed hang on? The gap came down by a few tenths of a second that time through. Michael Oliver in Division 1 passes John Powell, the Division 2 winner yesterday. He's third this time. And now Smith has caught Craig Reed. This is going to be interesting. Can Ryan Smith make it a hat-trick? Can Craig Reed hold him off? He's going to have to go defensive for the final lap. Into Coppice, there's a back marker, Jim Bennett ahead of them. They're coming up to lap the 7 Atkinson. Here they come along the exhibition straight down to the Robert chicane. Craig Reed already starting to defend. Smith's caught him. We know Smith's preferred passing place in this race. It's the old hairpin. Look at the steam coming off Jim Bennett's brakes on the 7 Atkinson. Third place, it's still O'Rourke, Jenkins, Reed and Collett. Has Tom O'Rourke done enough? They lap Jim Bennett and Ryan Smith. Now he's trying to bamboozle Craig Reed. He's got the inside run. Here we go down towards Redgate. Is he going to make his move early? They lean on each other. Ryan Smith's being forced towards the grass. Craig Reed turns in. Ooh, it's getting a bit rough and tumble at the front of the field. Surely Ryan Smith's going to go through. There he goes. Yeah, Craig Reed tried to turn in, but Smith was already alongside. He gets the line, gets the overlap, and gets the lead. Craig Reed is not finished yet, but he's fired up. He's going to have a go into the old hairpin here. No, you don't, says Ryan Smith. That's my move. He's wise to him there through the bottom section of the course. Through past Starkey's Bridge. The old stone arches there on the right, a feature of the Donington circuit pre-war. Would you believe it used to go through one of those little stone arches, the circuit here at Donington in its early days? Through McLean's Corner. And then up to Coppice. Can Tom O'Rourke hang on for his first podium of the season? Bradley Smith closing up as well. Ryan Smith with the fastest lap of the race. They're coming down to the checkered flag this time. Out of Coppice, can Craig Reed pull off a last bend lunge through into the chicane? Here we go. Reed having a look to the inside. Smith will be wise to him. He's going to try and cover the inside line here into the first part of the chicane. I don't think Craig Reed's going to do it. See, the only chance he's got is to slipstream him on the run to the line. Difficult to do in a truck. Here they come then, out of the final corner. It's going to be a hat-trick for flying Ryan Smith. Well, the clock's counted down to 0. There's the checkered flag. Second goes to Craig Reed. Ryan Smith wins it from Reed. O'Rourke, his first podium of the season. Then Jenkins, Simon Reed, Collins, Bradley Smith, John Bowler, Stephen Powell and Stuart Oliver as quickly as that. And Paul Rivett wins Division 2 for the second time this weekend. We're so close in Division 1. We didn't really focus on Division 2 for that race. Adam Bitt comes over in second. Jim Bennett is a lap down. So we wait for the rest of the Division 2 runners to come through. Michael Oliver making it back up to 13th overall. Here's Craig Evans. He's coming in for 4th in Division 2 behind John Powell in the DAF number 6. That keeps up his challenge of Adam Bitt in the points. And the other finishers, Neil Yates, Simon Cole and Jim Bennett. Jim Bennett also getting a 5-second penalty, presumably for track limits. Confirm the provisional result in a second. Well, you just cannot beat Ryan Smith this weekend. Wins by 0.68 of a second over Craig Reed. Brilliant drive by Craig's best result of the season. Tom O'Rourke is by far his best result of the season. His first podium of the year in the MAN ahead of David Jenkins, then Simon Reed. Ricky Collett with his best finish of the year in P6 ahead of Bradley Smith, John Bowler, Stephen Powell and Stuart Oliver rounding out the top 10. 11th place Paul Rivett wins Division 2 ahead of Adam Bitt, defeating the Volvo by 2.5 seconds. Next home was Michael Oliver, then John Powell, Craig Evans, Neil Yates, with Simon Cole and Jim Bennett completing the finishes. A couple of highlights from that race while Ryan Smith was in attacking mode from the off. He certainly got very friendly with the Reed brothers in our first race of the day. Then attacking Michael Oliver down into the old hairpin. Michael Oliver not really giving way, it has to be said. He tried to keep on the outside, but once he got onto the painted curb there, sent him sliding onto the grass, and eventually the MAN was sent spinning. Fortunately, didn't spin back into the pack. No grip on the wet grass at Starkey's. Thankfully, he was able to rejoin, eventually finishing 13th. Ryan Smith then tried the same move on Simon Reed, and it worked again through the hairpin. Ryan Smith frustrated at being stuck in the pack in the early laps, and chased through on David Jenkins, hunted down Tom O'Rourke coming out of the chicane. O'Rourke, we see there, got a wheel onto the curb, and that sent him sideways. That was what gave Ryan Smith the momentum to get through. I think it was down to the business of trying to hunt down Craig Reed. Michael Oliver, meanwhile, continued his recovery drive, battling his way through the Division 2 trucks. And then came the move for the lead. Craig Reed was not going to give way down the straight. He edged Ryan Smith further and further towards the grass. Further and further they went. He tried to turn in, there was contact, but it was Ryan Smith who had his nose down the inside, and Craig Reed had to cede the lead.
I'm live, fantastic, my goodness, first time today. Welcome to Donington Park. It's all going swimmingly here. I use that term, of course, because the weather's terrible, and so is the signal. So if anybody tries to call me today, it's not going to happen. Anyway, here we are, 11th trophy win for Ryan Smith. He's getting out. Ryan, how are we? Literally smashing your way through the circuit there. We've had some close calls on some corners, but you were finding an interesting line through that chicane. It looked like the place for your overtakes.
Well, look, you say interesting manoeuvres. When you're up the side of 5.3 tonne, and they decide to close the door once you're in, it's only going to have one outcome. If you're in your mirrors and you see people there, give them room and I'll break out of it. I don't want to touch anyone, you know, but if you've got the inside line, Simon, full credit to Simon, drove well, but I got on the inside and then he pushed me onto the grass, tried to break out of it. You can't get out of it on the grass.
Lucky that you didn't end up further on the grass, I suppose.
Well, and it's just stabilising and keeping safe, but
well done,
thank you, Dave. It's just, you know, if a truck's up the inside of me, I don't turn in.
No.
The one on the outside is always going to be the loser, but it was a good race and we just kept honest, we just kept working
come from
hard.
where you were in the grid to where you've obviously finished in the grid, which is in first place, a real battle on your hands from the get-go.
And just searching for grip, getting work going with the conditions. Everybody was taking a different line to me through the chicane, but I was getting such a good launch from the chicane. It was helping me a lot.
You could see that you were pulling away quite well when you did get past them. Yeah, I mean, Craig was obviously holding you off for quite a while there. There's about a 4-second gap between him and the rest of the pack for most of that race, but then those last 2 laps really made it for you.
To be fair, once Craig realised I was engaged, he pulled away, and I'm trying to break out of it. But the minute you try and break in these conditions, it's hard. But
so it is as slippy as it looks out there at the moment.
It is slippy, and I thought it was a lot more slippy than I thought. But you know, it's the same for everyone, so everyone's the same.
Well, another win for you. A very good season so far. So we'll leave you to it. Thank you very much, Ryan Smith. Let's go and have a quick word with first-time podium winner. How you doing, bud? You all right, mate? Good to see you, bud. Let's have a quick word. Let's have a quick word with Mr. O'Rourke. Tom, you must be pretty elated with that setup. That situation.
Great. I enjoy the wet, you know, so it's a bit of a leveller, I think. Being Scottish helps a wee bit, you know.
Yeah, used to the road conditions.
We live in the wettest place in Europe, so no, it was really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it now.
So you're happy to take in some silverware home today?
Well, listen, it's nice to be up at the front, you know, so. But plenty of pressure for Jenko in that race there, you know. So, but managed to hold them off.
I say defensive driving is probably harder than just having a clear track and going for it because your head is so focused on what's behind you rather than what's in front of you.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks.
Okay, so congratulations from the reigning champion as well. It's got to be good for the team as well to give them a boost. All the work they've put in.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we've changed engines and gearboxes and lorries, and everybody's tired. So you need a wee lift now and again, you know, so that's what it's all about, you know, so.
Absolutely fantastic result. Well done to you. So we'll give you some trophies out very shortly. Let's have a quick walk then up Parc Fermé whilst we've got time. And we'll see who else we've got. We haven't seen Ricky Collett this weekend so far. Simon Reed, obviously your side there. Let's see, head back a little bit further and see who we've got here. Further back in the pack, like I say, a very exciting race that was with lots of overtaking. Stuart Oliver, how are we? Very good. Here he is. Got Steve Powell, Ricky Collett. Ricky, we'll have a chat with you. You're out the truck. How was that for you? As it was an interesting race for everybody at home. There was some very interesting overtaking coming from the back to the front. How did you find it?
Oh, great. It wasn't slippy enough, really.
Honestly, can't win with these drivers. Some of them are like, oh yeah, it was slippy out there. You know, it was a bad track, and then some like, oh, it could have been wetter, really.
Yeah, well, it could have rained a bit hard. It would have been a bit more interesting. Yeah.
Do you think there's a kind of thing where it's better dry or better wet, but that bit in the middle isn't great for anyone?
It's the bit in the middle that's the tricky bit, because one time you're going around and you go around, and next time you're off. So
constantly second guessing the abilities of the tyres.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, but you made it round in one piece, which is always a bonus.
Yeah, and still running, so it's brilliant. Yeah.
And of course, another reverse grid later on today. Where will that see you start in the next race?
I think I'm on second place. I think.
Very excited. So you're just going to make it stick now, Ricky?
Yeah. I've got to do a Tom now, haven't I?
So do it. Yeah. You're not getting past. Thanks very much, Ricky. Ricky Collett. And very quickly over to Steve Powell. We've not had a chance to talk to him just yet. Hi. Sling your up. Go on. How are we?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, not had a great weekend, to be fair. So, a few teething problems. Snapped centre pin yesterday in qualifying, and that messes up for the basically rest of the weekend, really. So I think we've got pole for next race. So Got a bit of a wet setup now, so yeah, I'm happy with that really, to be fair. Would have rather finished 8th than 9th, but there you go.
Yeah, as I say, it should be you and Ricky essentially very near the front at the beginning of the next race. He thinks he's in second place for the next reverse grid, so that could be an interesting start if you two stick it out at the front.
Yeah, thanks for that, yeah.
Because you were really looking forward to it, I just wanted to make sure you had your head in the right place.
Yeah, I didn't really think about who was next to me, actually. I was only thinking about being on pole, so yeah, be what it be. We'll see what the weather does, but yeah, I'm not saying a word about that, actually.
Not saying a word, is it?
Yeah. From there, yeah.
Okay, right, well, we'll leave you to it, Steve. Thank you very much. Right, I think that's all we've got time for down here in Parc Ferme now, so I'm going to hand back to Dave in the studio to have a little go over what went on in that race.
Total Care's T8 range of mobile column lifts provides a highly flexible lifting solution for any commercial vehicle workshop. Easy to manoeuvre, the columns can be used across different lifting bays within the workshop and can be stored out of the way when not in use. The super strong lifts can support up to a 7,500 kg capacity per column and can be configured in sets of 4, 6 or 8. Adjustable wheel forks provide flexibility for lifting a variety of vehicles and wheel diameters. Speak to our team today for more information or a bespoke quote.
Have you seen this trailer? If you have, take a photo when safe and then send it to us. All for a chance to win one of our 5 miniature truck and trailers.
Stephen Powell on pole, the number 3, chance to turn his weekend around. In second on the grid, it should be number 5, Ricky Collett, but he's not there. So the second row, number 68, Craig Reed, and 69, David Jenkins. Jenkins with a clear run down the outside here, still looking for his first win of the season. Third row, 89, Simon Reed, number 46, Bradley Smith. And then we've got Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith on the 4th row. Ryan Smith looking for 4 out of 4. Tom O'Rourke, 86, first podium of the season earlier on in the wet, alongside number 12, Michael Oliver. And completing the Division 1 field, number 14, John Bowler, and 92, Simon Faulkner, who missed race 3 earlier today, but I think I did see he is there on the grid for this one. Then there's a gap and we've got Division 2. Now John Powell was hobbled by a bit of contact with Paul Rivette at the start of race 2 yesterday. He finished at the back in Division 2, but that gives him pole for this race alongside Adam Bint. He's been plagued by a few turbo problems so far this weekend. So they're on the front row for Division 2. Next in the order, Craig Evans, the number 10 MAN, and 22 Paul Rivette, Division 2 winner earlier on this weekend. Trying to close that gap on John Powell and Adam Bint at the top of the points. Jim Bennett, number 28, is next with the Seth Atkinson. A rare retirement for him in race 2 yesterday. Pulled off onto the Melbourne Loop. And Simon Cole, number 41, also failed to finish that race. He starts alongside. Neil Yates, as before, has requested to start at the back of the grid this weekend, his first time in Division 1. John Powell and Adam Bint on the front row of Division 2. Paul Rivette, their main rival. Pace truck pulls into pit lane. Red lights are on the gantry. Red lights go out now, and here we go, down towards Red Gates for the first time. Decent start by Bradley Smith, trying to get up the outside in the 46. It's Powell and Collett side by side into Red Gates for the first time. Will they all make it round? Looks like it. Adam Bint's got away well in Division 2. We're on board with Simon Reed. Ricky Collick could lose second place here. Craig Reed is going for the inside. Craig Reed trying to go for the lead, I think. We've got a tangle. John Bowler goes spinning up. Bradley Smith's off and wallop into the tyre wall. Oh, big impact for the 46. I thought he was going to go over there for a second. That's going to be a red flag, definitely. Big accident for Bradley Smith. That's exactly the same place as where Stuart Oliver crashed out 12 months ago at Convoy in the Park 2022. A lot of damage to the tyre wall. Red flag out instantly. Stephen Powell was leading ahead of Craig and Simon Reed, but the race stopped. It looked like it was John Bowler who got spun out, tangled up with Bradley Smith, and he went off into the tyres. Let's hope Bradley's okay. Okay, let's have a look what's happened there then. Watch a little further back. Oh, it was contact with Stuart Oliver and David Jenkins initially, but further back there were three trucks together. Tom O'Rourke and John Bowler came together. That sent Bradley Smith out wide. No grip on the grass. Wallop into the tyre wall. Nearly over and spun around. A lot of damage there. And that could well be the end of Bradley Smith's weekend. Look at the state of that front axle broken, fluid pouring everywhere, and a lot of damage to the tyre wall. Look at the state of that tyre wall. That's exactly the same place where Stuart Oliver crashed almost exactly 12 months ago. The tyre wall and the barrier did its job, and now here come the Orange family, the volunteer marshals. They'll have that cleared up in next to no time. Marshals already picking up bits of Bradley Smith's truck there. Let's have a look at a replay of the start. Red lights went out. It was a decent start by Bradley Smith. He got up on the outside of David Jenkins. Stephen Powell who got the lead. Ricky Collick was a bit slow away. He dropped back down the order when the red flags came out. Ryan Smith was in the middle between the two Olivers. Adam Bint got away best in Division 2, but it's a little further forward of that. It looked to me as though Tom O'Rourke got into John Bowler and they clipped Bradley Smith. Bowler spun to the inside, Bradley Smith heavily into the tyre wall on the outside, and that could well be the end of Bradley Smith's weekend, sadly. He's okay by the look of it, but that truck is heavily damaged. So here they come then, 12 minutes for the British Truck Racing Championship, race 4 of the weekend at Convoy in the Park 2023 at Donington Park. Revs beginning to rise from these 12, 13 litre engines. The pace truck is in pit lane, the red lights are on. Red lights go out now, and here we go down towards Redgate. The second attempt at race 4 gets away. Good start by Ryan Smith. David Jenkins instantly moves out to block him. Stephen Powell leads. They come down to Redgate for the first time. Jenkins trying to go around the outside. Both of them, you'll never get 3 wide through Redgate. Jenkins wisely backs out of it on the outside. That could allow Craig Reed to come through. They've all got through okay in Division 1. Adam Bint's got the lead in Division 2. Stephen Powell leads down the Craner Curse the first time. Craig Reed up into second place in the Iveco. Ricky Collick trying to defend from David Jenkins, who's got the inside line for the old hairpin. He goes through. Ricky Collick has lost 2 places. Then Simon Reed, Stuart Oliver, Michael Oliver, Ryan Smith back in 8th place ahead of Tom O'Rourke. It's Stephen Powell who leads the way, looking to turn his weekend around. Looks like Sir Simon Faulkner may have joined him from the pit lane there. I can see a grey truck right at the back, so I think we've got the 92 truck out as well, and returned to the paddock to fix a problem, presumably. Ricky Collick has lost out to Simon Reed now, so he's down to 5th position. Next in the order is Stuart Oliver in the number 7 Volvo VNL. Through the top of the circuit at Coppice Corner. And down the exhibition straight, Craig Reed has designs on taking the lead here. And he take it as they go into the chicane. Well, David Jenkins could get second place. He's going to squeeze up the inside. This is going to be close. They're side by side. You won't fit 2 by 2 through the chicane there. David Jenkins is going to get forced wide, most likely onto the grass as they come out there. There you go, over the curves, and the Reeds could make it 3 wide. Look at Simon Reed on the right of the picture on the left as they head down to Redgate on track. Craig Reed's been squeezed out in the middle. Jenkins has got through into second place ahead of the 2 Ivecos. Craig Reed will hold third on the inside. His brother Simon making it a bit of sibling rivalry. Craig's got it sideways coming out of Redgate. He loses third place to Simon. Cracking battle there. This could turn into the race of the weekend so far. Ricky Collins lost out to Stuart Oliver. Michael Oliver on his tail there. They almost made contact as they went through the Craner curves. Behind them is Ryan Smith, yet to make his move for a 4th win out of 4 this weekend. Behind them, Tom O'Rourke. What a frantic start to this 4th race of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. Up the hill towards McLean's. Adam Bint is leading Division 2 in the black Volvo. Yes, Simon Faulkner is there. He's at the back of the field, so he joined in from the pit lane. Michael Oliver having a go at Ricky Collins. Not going as well as it did in the wet earlier on, the number 95. I mean, there's a cloud of smoke there. I think that was Adam Bint. I saw smoke there. Meanwhile, we've got trucks bouncing off each other, and one of them is Ryan Smith. Oh, he was nearly squeezed off completely onto the grass there as Ricky Collins and Michael Oliver made contact alongside him. O'Rourke and Bowler battling it out behind, and Ricky Collins is going to be shuffled back another place because Michael Oliver's going to come through. Over the curb goes Collins, and up the inside comes Ryan Smith. He's now going to have a go at Michael Oliver. Ricky Collins going backwards. Over the line they go. Now Ryan Smith will go after the leaders. Or will he? Because Michael Oliver holds him off there into turn 1. Yep, Adam Bint, so we saw some smoke there. I thought, yes, he's slowing down, so Adam Bint's got a problem. I imagine that's more turbo problems for the Volvo. Oh, and off goes is that Stuart Oliver that's gone off at the top of the Craner curves there? I couldn't quite see. Yes, I think we've lost the number 7. Has he pulled off with a problem, or did he go off? Well, there he is in the background coming down the Craner curves. He must have run wide there. We'll try and get a replay, see if we can see what happened there. No, he is pulling over. I thought he got going again, but no, the number 7, yes, cloud of smoke there, so problems for Stuart Oliver. Not a good race to be in a bonneted truck, unless your name is Ryan Smith, who's trying to force his way past Michael Oliver. He goes through, and now we'll try and get after the leaders. So we'll establish the order as they come over the line this time through. It's Stephen Powell and David Jenkins at the front of the field. All the action's happening behind them. The Reed brothers in 3rd and 4th, and a change for the lead. David Jenkins has taken the lead at the chicane. I can't keep up with this. We've had more action in this race than any other, certainly. So David Jenkins has taken the lead. 3rd is Simon Reed, then it's Craig Reed. I still can't tell those trucks apart, even when I can see the numbers on them. Then we've got Ryan Smith up into P5. 6th, it is Michael Oliver. Ricky Collett down to 7th. So Stuart Oliver is out of the race. We'll wait and see if Adam Bint is still going as well. I'm not too sure. Now look at the gap between 4th and 5th. Stuart Oliver parked on the right of the screen there at the edge of the tyre wall. Adam Bint, I can tell you, has pulled into the pits, so the team looking at the number 5, just going past my commentary box at the moment. So here come your leaders. David Jenkins, desperate for that first win of the season, ahead of Stephen Powell. Simon Reed on the outside into Coppice, won't get round there. Craig Reed a little further back now as the race starts to settle down, except for Simon Reed attacking Stephen Powell for that 2nd place. Side by side, Reed on the inside for the right-hander. Can Powell hold him off? Now I think Reed's going to get through on the brakes. Yes, he's done it. Simon Reed up into 2nd place. Now his brother will try and join him on the podium. Stephen Powell looking for his best finish of the weekend so far. There's Ryan Smith in the background in 5th position. And according to the timing screen, our clock on the timing tower on The left of your screen says just over 8.5 minutes to go. My timing screen says just under 6 minutes. So apologies for the discrepancy there. Go with what's on the official timing screen here in the box. So about 5.5 minutes to go, and Simon Reed is catching David Jenkins for the lead into the old hairpin. Ryan Smith's done the fastest lap, 1:26.264, but he's still 3.5 seconds behind Craig Reed in 4th place. Simon Reed is not hanging about here. He wants his first win of the season. There's Michael Oliver still going well in 6th place. Up they come towards Coppice once again. MAN from Iveco. MAN in 3rd, Iveco 4th, Daimler Freightliner in 5th position. Over the line they go. 16 trucks still running. Down the straight they come. David Jenkins from Simon Reed. Adam Bint, I believe, has rejoined out of the pits. Division 2 is being led by Paul Rivette instead. We haven't really picked. You can see him in the background there. There's so much going on in Division 1. We've not really picked up on the Division 2 lead battle. It's Paul Rivette who leads. David Jenkins leads, but I've just been told he's got a 5-second time penalty, presumably for exceeding track limits. So David Jenkins has got a penalty. So he will lose that lead because Simon Reed's on his bumper. They lap Jim Bennett in the 28s. Here comes Ryan Smith. What's his gap to Craig Reed now? It's down to 2.2 seconds. He's done another fastest lap of the race as Craig Reed says, "Excuse me," to Jim Bennett. Moves him wide over the curbs. Smith in 5th place. Next through will be Michael Oliver. He's nearly 4 seconds further back. There he is. Ricky Collins is 7th. Then it's O'Rourke ahead of John Bowler. They're having a good scrap. And there's Paul Rivette in 10th place. He's got the lead in Division 2. He's nearly 3 seconds ahead of Craig Evans. 3rd in Division 2 is Simon Cole, a little bit further back. If we pick up the Division 2 battle, there is the number 22, the Napa-sponsored MAN of Paul Rivette, trying to close ground after a slower start to his season in Division 2, his first full season in the British Truck Racing Championship, the ex-Renault Clio champion. As over the line go the leaders. Less than a second in it between the two of them, but Jenkins has that penalty hanging over him. He is jinxed in 2023. He seems destined not to win a race. Simon Reed giving chase in the Iveco. Whether he knows about Jenkins' penalty, we don't know, but he doesn't need to attack the number 69. Stephen Powell still there in 3rd. Ricky Collins being caught now by Tom O'Rourke and John Bowler. That's for 7th place. The closing stages now. Side by side for the lead. Well, we said Simon Reed didn't need to attack David Jenkins because of the penalty, but Simon doesn't know that, and he goes through at the chicane and takes the lead of this 4th British Truck Racing Association, British Truck Racing Championship race of the weekend. There's Adam Bint who's going again. I assume it's that troublesome turbo pipe that came adrift again. There's the Division 2 leader, Paul Rivette. One minute left on the clock according to my timing screen. Still this battle raging on for 7th place. John Bowler on the rear bumper of Tom O'Rourke. So things have settled down pretty much towards the conclusion of this race. Great shame for Stuart Oliver, not his weekend at all. David Jenkins trying to fight back. They're coming up to lap Simon Cole in the number 41 Iveco. He's running 4th in Division 2. Over the line they go, and Adam Bint, it's important he keeps going here because John Powell is not out there in this race in Division 2, didn't take the restart of this one. So the points standings will remain close. Paul Rivette closing up on Bint and John Powell. Ryan Smith round the outside of Simon Cole. It certainly looks as though his unbeaten run is going to be brought to an end. Through the old hairpin. Just have to wait to see when the checkered flag does come out. In this provisionally shortened race, there's a couple of the back markers. We've got the 28 of Jim Bennett, the 92 of Simon Faulkner. The black and white flag has been shown to number 14, John Bowler. That's a warning for driving standards, presumably for track limits. Well, the clock on the timing screen is down to 0, so we'll wait to see if we get the checkered flag at this time, or whether they continue on. Craig Reed has now got a penalty, the 4th placed man. He'll get a 5-second penalty as well. They're getting pretty hot on these track limits offences. As into the chicane, Simon Reed in the Iveco. Into the home straight they come, ahead of David Jenkins, and there is the checkered flag. Simon Reed wins it, ahead of David Jenkins, Stephen Powell in 3rd, then Craig Reed and Ryan Smith. That's the order over the line anyway, but it will change slightly with a couple of penalties. But Simon Reed takes his first win of the 2023 season. Oh, and Tom O'Rourke very sideways there at the chicane. He clipped the tyres, I think, there, just about holding off John Bowler. We'll confirm the results in just a moment. Paul Rivette will come in to win Division 2 once again in the 22 truck. He's having a good weekend in the MAN. Craig Evans will be 2nd. Adam Bint came out of the pits and will keep going for 3rd place, with John Powell not out there for the restart, and that will gain Bint some points back in the championship. So Simon Reed it is who takes the win by 4 seconds ahead of Stephen Powell 2nd. The penalty for Jenkins dropping him to 3rd. So Simon Reed, his first win of the season in Division 1 ahead of Stephen Powell. Jenkins gets dropped to 3rd place by that penalty, presumes for track limits. Penalty for Craig Reed as well drops into 5th behind Ryan Smith, who's defeated for the first time this weekend. Michael Oliver 6th, Ricky Collett topping a good battle with Tom O'Rourke, and John Bowler for 7th. Paul Rivette wins the Division 2 spoils by over 8 seconds ahead of Craig Evans. Simon Faulkner next home ahead of Adam Bint, Neil Yates, Simon Cole and Jim Bennett. One retirement, the unfortunate Stuart Oliver with a mechanical failure.
Yeah, welcome everybody. We're sort of in the Parc Ferme for the trucks, and huge congratulations to Simon Reed. I understand that his first win of the season. He must be absolutely delighted. He decided to give Pointy a bit of a break after doing a great job in the gap before. Simon, how does it feel to get the big W?
Yeah, we were definitely ready for it, that's for sure. We got all the gear here, and all the boys and all the family and drivers and all sorts, and yeah, we were ready. We were ready for that.
It was quite a delay as well. We know that obviously the incident early on, and then the red flag, a long period waiting on the grid. Does that play on your mind at all?
It does. Sometimes you've just got to jump back in your truck, forget about what's going on, and just concentrate on the job in hand. And when it comes, you know what I mean?
Well, look, you can't relax too much just yet. You can't taste that champagne yet because you've got another one to do a little bit later. But well done, congratulations. Hopefully we'll be talking later. Simon Reed, what a great result that is there. I do want to find Dave as well. Let's grab Dave again very quickly, because despite a 5-second time penalty, he's still on the podium.
Yeah, no, brilliant. The best man won out there then. That's the truth of the matter. I did some great overtaking, got away and thought, right, we're on, and they just never found the qualifying rhythm, never got into the 26s, let alone the 25s, and Simon just plugged away and plugged away and plugged away. I think I lost heart a bit when I saw the penalty, and then I decided, come on, let's I looked in the mirror, tried to work out where we were and pushed on, but that was how truck racing should be done. If you watch the manoeuvres from today compared to the quality of the driving from yesterday, that's how it should be done, and there's some massive lessons to be learned.
You've got another one to do a little bit later as well, so no champagne just yet, Dave. Let's keep moving on, shall we? Great racing from everybody. I did want to find Stephen Powell as well if we could. His truck is here. I don't think he's here though. Let's just move back a little bit, shall we? I think we might have a little bit of time. A big shout, of course, to Paul Rivette, the number 22, for winning in Division 2 as well. A great race, great example of how to go racing for the British Truck Racing Championship. I think we're running out of people, so we've still got a lot of action to come. There is still one more race to come for the British Truck Racing Championship. There's also another race for the International Truck Prix as well. We've also got 2 races for the BMWs and another race for the pickups to come here at Donington. Still so much more action, although I can see the Kumo BMW Championship. They're in the assembly area. They're waiting to go out. Race 1 about to get underway for the Kumo BMW Championship. Dave, back to you.
TotalCare's T8 range of mobile column lifts provides a highly flexible lifting solution for any commercial vehicle workshop. Easy to manoeuvre, the columns can be used across different lifting bays within the workshop and can be stored out of the way when not in use. The super strong lifts can support up to a 7,500 kilogram capacity per column and can be configured in sets of 4, 6 or 8. Adjustable wheel forks provide flexibility for lifting a variety of vehicles and wheel diameters. Speak to our team today for more information or a bespoke quote.
Have you seen this trailer? If you have, take a photo when safe and then send it to us. All for a chance to win one of our 5 miniature tracks.
So the grid based on the results of race 3 from earlier this morning. Top 8 reverse in Division 1. John Bowler is on pole number 14. Bradley Smith obviously won't be starting because of his accident earlier on. His truck beyond repair for today. Second row of the grid, 95 Ricky Collins and number 89 Simon Reed. Row 3, 69 David Jenkins and the 86 of Tom O'Rourke. And the 4th row is 68 Craig Reed and Ryan Smith, looking for win number 4 of the weekend and number 1. Then the 5th row, Stephen Powell, number 3, and Stuart Oliver, number 7. Problems for him in race 4, but he is there. He's on the grid. And number 12, Michael Oliver, and 92, Simon Faulkner, round out Division 1. And the gap back to Division 2, which will be headed up by Jim Bennett, number 28, in the Seth Atkinson. Alongside him, 41, Simon Cole. Then we've got number 10, which is Craig Evans, 6 of John Powell. Now keep an eye if John Powell is there as the grid passes my commentary box, because he didn't start at race 4. Number 5, Adam Bintz is next, then 22, Paul Rivette, and Neil Yates, of course, starting from the back of the grid as he has in every race this weekend. So which way is this one going to go? Ryan Smith effectively starting 7th on the grid because we're missing Bradley Smith from the front row. With John Bowler alone on the front row. Is that Bradley Smith coming out? How on earth have they got that back out? I don't believe it. I am genuinely shocked at that. Well done to the 46 team. How on earth have they repaired that truck after the impact it took in race 4? They must have had every team in the paddock helping them out. So that's the community spirit of truck racing. Everybody must have been all hands on deck to get Bradley back out there. That's incredible. It looks like he's going to start from the back of the grid. I don't think there's room for him to come through to start on the front row. That is an amazing repair effort. Full credit to everyone involved. Those of you who saw race 4 earlier on, the front end of that truck was virtually gone when it hit the tyre. On board with Paul Rivette for this one as he looks for another Division 2 win to close the gap on Adam Bince and John Powell. I can't quite see from my position if John Powell is on the grid for this race. Let's take a look out of the window. Yes, so John Powell is there. Simon Cole, however, is not. The 41 truck is not there. Also on board with Simon Reed, the 89, as the pace truck moves into position. Now here's a reminder of what's happened earlier on in race 4. This is only a fairly short while ago this afternoon. Watch towards the back of the Division 1 group. There's the contact between the 86 and the 14. Bradley Smith goes spearing off onto the grass where there's no grip. Wallop straight in and almost straight over. The front end of that truck looks like it's destroyed around the front axle area. Look at the state of it. And that truck, I thought was written off, is now back on the grid. I cannot believe that. And not only that, the pace truck has moved aside and it looks as though Bradley Smith is reversing into position on the front row. That's the most extraordinary thing I've seen all season. Let's begin to rise. Will it be 4 for Ryan Smith? Will it be 4 in Division 2 for Paul Rivette? We're about to find out. We are underway. Let's rise down towards Redgate. They go on board with Simon Reed. Nice to move to the inside. He could move. He could take both of them here. They're going to be 3 wide. Look at this into Redgate. Goodness me, that's close. John Bowler's got the lead. He holds off Simon Reed, who's up into second place. Bradley Smith is in third. Then it's David Jenkins. Ryan Smith is boxed in there on the outside. Stuart Oliver on his tail. Division 2 pack. And next looks like it's possibly Craig Evans who's got to the front in Division 2, the number 10. That's a good start. Side by side between Michael Oliver and Tom O'Rourke, and Ryan Smith has lost ground there. Look, he's dropped behind O'Rourke, and Stuart Oliver's in behind him. They were caught on the outside line coming through Redgate. Stephen Powell behind them. It's John Powell who's taken up the lead in the Division 2 field. There's a fair bit of smoke or steam there from David Jenkins. Looks like he's in trouble. Wonder if his turbo's packing up. We're on board with Paul Rivette in the 22. Didn't make the best of starts. He's having a go at Craig Evans to second place in Division 2. It's John Powell up ahead of us who's leading Division 2, the blue and red truck number 6. So Paul Rivette's trying to make his way through, looking to make it 4 wins out of 5 in Division 2 this weekend. Here comes your leader, John Bowler. Second place is Simon Reed. Great start by him. Here comes Ryan Smith up the inside. Somebody's gone off in the background over the gravel. That's Jenkins, I think. Yes, David Jenkins in all sorts of bother. 86 of Tom O'Rourke. Just about holding off the number 1, which is Ryan Smith. Stuart Oliver round the outside of Ricky Collins, who's dropping back. We think that David Jenkins may have blown a turbo. That may have been the smoke we saw. John Bowler leads it. He's holding off Simon Reed, looking for his second Division 1 win of his first season in the category, move up from Division 2 this year. But Simon Reed to the inside. Here comes the Iveco. He's got the winning taste now, and he goes through at the Craner curve. That's a good move by Simon Reed into the lead in the Reed Freight Iveco Struts. Once the old hairpin they come. Third place is still Bradley Smith, holding off Craig Reed. Then it's Michael Oliver up there in 5th position. He's running well in the number 12, past the point where he spun in the rain earlier in the weekend. Then we've got Ryan Smith in the number 1. He's got ground to make up. Tom O'Rourke running well. Then Stuart Oliver, Stephen Powell, Ricky Collins, Simon Faulkner. Then the Division 2 pack. Paul Rivette side by side with Craig Evans. Up they come into McLean's. Rivette on the inside. Looks like he's got the move done. Yes, up into second in class. Let's see the gap ahead there to John Powell, the number 6. David Jenkins has pulled up by the look of things on the outside of Coppice. Looks like he's out of the race. We believe from the smoke we saw that was a blown turbo. Bradley Smith in the lightweight MAN, still there in 3rd position. Must be such a struggle to handle with the damage the steering took earlier on. Stuart Oliver battling with Stephen Powell. Goes to the left, so does Oliver. They're all over the back of Tom O'Rourke. Simon Faulkner moving up as well onto the back of Ricky Collins. Small gap back to John Powell. O'Rourke round the outside, holding off Stuart Oliver. Here's a replay of, I think this is the demise of David Jenkins. Pulls off into the gravel. Great clouds of smoke. That certainly suggests a blown turbo to me. Same happened to Ryan Smith with his Mercedes there a few years ago. A few flames as well. Yeah, that's the turbo gone. Jenkins out of the race. Bradley Smith under fire from Craig Reed, who gets the bumper in a bit there on the exit of McLean's. He's been watching the Brisker F1 stock cars, I think, Craig Reed, with a move like that. Into the exhibition straight they go. Bradley Smith holds him off. Simon Reed in the lead. Craig wants to make it 2 brothers on the podium. Michael Oliver still 5th. He's got Ryan Smith on his tail. On board with Paul Rivette, and he's caught John Powell. This is for the lead in Division 2. Paul Rivette looking for his 4th win of the weekend. Chicane. You turn the other way there, you go down to the Melbourne hairpin. That's a bit tight for trucks. So uses the assembly area and Park Ferme, as you've seen all weekend. Down to Redgate. Daff holding the inside, the Dutch-built machine. Paul Rivette on the outside. Craig Evans and Adam Bint behind. It's been a quiet weekend for Adam Bint. A few turbo problems slowing him up a bit. The older Volvo white Aerodyne. The first truck in the series to run on the more environmentally friendly HVO fuel. And now all trucks mandated to run that in the championship. John Powell holds the lead in the DAF. 4 trucks minus Stern in Division 2. Here's Ryan Smith. He's up on the back of Michael Oliver. Stuart Oliver in there as well. This could get interesting. We know that Smith and the Olivers have a big rivalry, and Stuart's up the inside. He's going through. That was a cheeky move there by Stuart Oliver. And Ryan Smith, instead of gaining a place, loses one. And what's Michael doing here? He tries to lean across there at Ryan Smith. Ryan's going to have the inside line for the chicane. He'll get through on Michael and now have to attack Stuart. Ryan Smith and Wiz getting double team through there. He's still in 6th place behind Stuart Oliver. So the Olivers have swapped places. One from 5th to 7th and the other vice versa. Now here comes Stephen Powell. Could be into the top 7 in the number 3. Trying the outside on Michael Oliver, the number 12. Still your leader is the 89 of Simon Reed. Leads by over 2.5 seconds ahead of John Bowler, the number 14. Michael Oliver in the clutches of Stephen Powell now. Then we've got O'Rourke, and then Ricky Collins rounds out the top 10. Battle for the lead in Division 2, still headed by John Powell. Bradley Smith still holding third in the 46. He wants to reward his team for their hard work there in getting him back out by taking a good result here. You see Simon Faulkner going well there too. He's attacking Ricky Collins. We're on board with Paul Rivets. Still on the tail of John Powell for the lead of the Division 2 category. We go towards Coppice. Craig Evans still there third, and Adam Bint in fourth. But not yet in a position to attack for the lead of the class. 5 laps completed by our leader. Nearly 4 seconds in it now between Reid and Bowler. He pulled away by over a second on that last lap, Simon Reid. There's Bradley Smith holding off Craig Reid. Then Oliver and Smith. Stuart Oliver, Ryan Smith. 17 British titles between the two of them. That's the point where Bradley Smith crashed earlier on. I really thought that truck was done for the day. Fair play to the team for proving me wrong. Can he hold off Craig Reid for third? There's John Bowler going well in second place. His win at Thruxton came in the curtailed race 4 after Neil Yates' accident. A bit of smoke there at top. Oh, the leader's gone wide. That's Simon Reid. He's gone off at McLean's. I thought I saw some smoke there. It must have been tyre smoke, unless he's got a problem. So John Bowler leads. Simon Reid, I think, has rejoined and is still in second place. Yes. So a mistake for Simon Reid, and John Bowler leads at Donington. He must have just locked up there on the entry. He must have missed his braking point. I saw smoke and I thought somebody may have pulled off with a mechanical problem. But no, Simon Reid made a mistake, flew off wide, and he's down to second. Over the line they go. John Bowler, the number 14, the man from Stockport, leads the way at Donington. Here comes Craig Reid attacking Bradley Smith. Has a look into red gates. Bradley Smith tries to turn in. They're absolutely together, and Craig will have the inside line now for the Craner Coast. Got Stuart Oliver on his tail. Yes, Craig Reid is going to go through for third. Bradley Smith goes wide. He doesn't want to repeat the collision earlier on, and Oliver and Smith get through as well. Yes, that was perhaps intelligent driving there by Bradley Smith. Just gave them the room they needed and didn't risk another crash. So Craig Reid is now third. Stuart Oliver fourth. Ryan Smith is fifth. The leaders lapping Jim Bennett in the 28 and the Seb Atkinson. There go the leaders. Jim Bennett trying to get out of the way. Ryan Smith nearly clipped him there. Bennett, I think, didn't expect so many trucks to come through at once. Simon Reid is now back up, challenging John Bowler. Bowler holds the inside line. The Rapid Rubber and Rochdale HGV sponsored number 14 MAM. We're on board with Simon Reid. Looking at the timing tower, we have a change for the lead in Division 2 while all that was going on as well. Paul Rivett has taken John Powell, I can tell you, to take the lead in Division 2. We ride with Simon Reid in the Iveco down to Redgate. Swings it through. He's keeping in the wheel tracks of John Bowler. He'll be very satisfied indeed if he can hang on to win this, John Bowler. As we said, his other win was in a shortened race, shortened by a red flag at Thruxton. Down the hill, through the old hairpin. Simon Reid has a look on the exits. Now he's moved to the other side as they go up towards Schwantz Curve. Still trying to defend. Right on board, up towards the right-hander at McLean. Right on his rear axle almost there. Less than 4 minutes to go for Simon Reid to get the lead back again. John Bowler making his MAN the widest in the country right now. There was an award for the widest truck at Donington in the truck show later on, and John Bowler would probably win it. But is it going to be enough to hold back the Iveco? And the other three are now closing onto their tails as well as a result of all this battling. This is great stuff. Again, Bowler moves to defend into the chicane. Craig Reed still up there in third. Here's a replay of the move for the lead in Division 2. There's John Powell. He went wide coming out of the chicane. Just got a wheel onto the grass there as Paul Rivett got his foot down the Wheatcroft straight and was able to take the lead. Meantime, into Redgate, and Simon Reed's got the inside line this time. Side by side for the lead. Simon Reed's going through. Retakes the lead of Division 1. It's all happening in this final race here at Donington. We said the last race of the day tends to be the liveliest. So Simon Reed back in front again. Still, Ryan Smith only fifth. He can't get past Stuart Oliver. Two bonneted trucks together. Bradley Smith not far behind them in sixth place, still running well. Seventh is Michael Oliver, and eighth place Stephen Powell. Stephen Powell has got a 5-second penalty though for exceeding track limits. I think he'll be okay though. Clear of Tom O'Rourke. He may lose one place if he's unlucky. Ryan Smith weaving around on the tail of Stuart Oliver. But there's not many drivers more difficult to get past than Oliver. 5 trucks almost line astern. 2 identical Ivecos, first and third. 2 laps to go, I think it will be this time. It's 1 minute 50 left on the clock. For the line they come. Simon Reed, Bowen, Craig, Oliver, Smith. There's Bradley Smith in the background, being caught now by Michael Oliver and by Stephen Powell. Meanwhile, here's a battle further back. Ricky Collins having a good scrap with Simon Falk. This is for 10th place. They've been scrapping all race long, these two. Behind Tom O'Rourke. And then next in the order, Paul Rivett, who leads John Powell. On board with Paul Rivett. Here is our Division 2 leader. Had to make a pit visit when a turbo pipe came loose in race 1, else he could have had a maximum this weekend. There go your leads. Still Ryan Smith can't get past Stuart Oliver. Round McLean's. Just hasn't quite been able to get the line away. He's getting impatient now, Ryan Smith. You can see him moving around. Slides it out of Coppice. John Bowler still doing superbly to hold on in second. The best weekend he's had in Division 1 so far. 30 seconds left. We're coming into the last lap this time. The last lap of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship here at Convoy in the Park. And it is a convoy of 5 trucks for the lead of this race. Stuart Oliver still under fire. Craig Reed moves across to block him. Now Oliver moves back to the inside. He's trying to sell in the dummy. No, Craig Reed stays across. 5 of them line astern. It's like that Grand Prix at Tarama in 1981, which Gilles Villeneuve held on to win in the Ferrari. We've got more penalties coming in. John Bowler and Craig Reed have been given 5-second penalties. Oh, that's going to shake the leading order up a bit. So second and third place at the moment, they're going to be penalised, so that's going to put these two onto the podium almost certainly, Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith. That's a great shame for John Bowler and Craig Reed. They've driven really well in this race, but they've been picked up for track limits. Simon Reed looks like he's going to hang on to take another victory. So that fight between Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith is now effectively for second place, because Bowler and Craig Reed are going to be penalised. It's going to be a win for Simon Reed for the second time this weekend and this season in the 89. Great drive by him despite having gone off at McLean's midway through. He recovered to retake John Bowler. The rest of them fight their way through behind, and it's going to be Simon Reed coming in to take the checkered flag in our last race of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. He takes the win. Ryan Smith trying to push his way past Stuart Oliver. He can't do so. So that'll be second for Stuart Oliver. Ryan Smith is third. The rest of them coming through. Bradley Smith will get fourth. John Bowler is relegated to fifth. Then Michael Oliver, Craig Reed, Tom O'Rourke and Stephen Powell ends up ninth. Ricky Collett will complete the top 10 ahead of Simon Faulkner. They've been together for most of the race. And what about Division 2? Here comes Paul Rivett through the chicane. If it hadn't been for that loose turbo pipe, he could have won all 5 this weekend. He takes his 4th win of the weekend in Division 2, ahead of John Powell, Adam Bintz and Craig Evans. It's going to be a very interesting title battle in Division 2. 3 meetings to go this season. Next they go to Snetterton in September, then it's on to Pembrey in October, before the finale on Bonfire Weekend at Brands Hatch. Provisional results then with the penalties applied. Simon Reed takes his 2nd win of the weekend. Stuart Oliver beats Ryan Smith to the line for what turned out to be 2nd place because John Bowler was penalised, as were Craig Reed and Stephen Powell. Bradley Smith ends up 4th, just reward for his team's efforts to get him back out there. Bowler 5th ahead of Michael Oliver, then Craig Reed, Stephen Powell in 9th place. Tom O'Rourke was 8th. Ricky Collett 10th ahead of Simon Faulkner. Paul Rivett wins again in Division 2 ahead of John Powell by 2.5 seconds. Adam Bint in 3rd, then Craig Evans, Neil Yates and Jim Bennett the final finisher. We lost David Jenkins with what looked like a blown turbo on the opening lap. Well, we said the last race of the weekend would be the liveliest. David Jenkins didn't get much participation though. His truck going up in smoke and a few flames on the opening lap. Been a disappointing season so far for Jenks. Flames from the turbo, sadly. It was a frantic battle all the way down the Division 1 field. Everybody getting involved at some point. Battle for the lead between John Bowler and Simon Reed. Simon taking the lead with a good move down the top of the Craner curves. While in Division 2, John Powell and Paul Rivett slugged it out in the early stages at the front. Ryan Smith got to grips with the Olivers. We've seen that a few times before. Ryan able to deal with Michael. Couldn't quite get past Stuart Oliver. John Powell led much of the way in Division 2 in the DAF. Eventually just ran a little bit wide coming off the chicane, and Paul Rivett able to pull alongside him and take the lead down the pit straights. Simon Reed eventually battling his way back ahead of John Bowler, having gone off wide at McLean's and lost the lead. It's on to a superb victory. Great drive by Simon Reed. We'll head down to Pointy shortly in Parc Fermé.
Well, unbelievable, what a finish to that race. A bit of a rehash to the results as we saw them cross the line, of course, with penalties being handed out to John Bowler. And of course that means we've got the undisputable winner of that race, Mr. Simon Reed. Let's get inside the cab and say hello to him. Simon, absolutely fantastic race there, really sticking it out early on.
Yeah, I thought obviously got cracked on, and then part way through I thought I'd had a disc snap, so it locked this wheel up, and I thought shit, so just combed it round and I thought hold up, it's freed back up, right, let's get back on the track again. Yeah, and then
clean race though, race for everybody behind you, not too much hassle, a few track limits of course.
Cracked on. Obviously I saw John having a 5-second penalty, so I didn't stress myself out, to be honest. So yeah, I was well chuffed, to be fair.
Great result, well done Simon. Well, that's another first place for you this weekend. I didn't get a chance to congratulate you on your other one, obviously.
No, that one, yeah, especially obviously every podium's an absolute bonus for us, you know, with the team and everything and the hard work we put in. But yeah, that one before, obviously I was sort of, you know, starting on the 3rd row and then picking everybody, you know, well, not picking the lads off in front on me bit by bit, and then coming home with the win. You know, it was hard work.
Yeah, you feel like it's more of a reward when you put more of a battle into it.
That's it, yeah, we keep everything together, but no, I kind of, you know, bloody brilliant, to be honest. I wasn't expecting, you know, you just go with the job and see where it takes you, you know what I mean, and you good out to luck and the truck feeling right and being together, it's usually can set you up for the job, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, we're going to go speak to a few more drivers. Let me shake your hand. Well done, buddy. Good job, Simon. Who have we got over here? Stuart Oliver, by unanimous decision. We saw a little rehash of the top three there just as they crossed the line. Puts you up into second place. Excellent. That's another great trophy for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pleased with that. I have 3 seconds this weekend, so yeah, I'm over the moon with that.
Now, obviously, I didn't get a chance to chat to you after the last race. Obviously, Ian might have asked you a DNF before due to steering issues. Obviously, you got that sorted out, didn't you?
Yeah, a steering bolt snapped on the link arm to the axle, which left us with no steering. So yeah, it was a bit of a shame that, but starting at the back of that one and getting to second, that's quite good, you know. So.
And of course, now looking at the timetable, we're going to go from racing conditions to drifting conditions, and you're going to go and smash up a caravan as well, aren't you?
I'll take great pressure on that. I just want Ryan Smith to be in the caravan when I do it.
Yes, he wasn't super thrilled when he got out the truck earlier on.
No. Yeah, racing's racing. He straight lined the last chicane and tried to get the legs on us over to the line, but I knew he was there. I never moved. He just came into us. I went to go to the checkered flag, and he decided I was in his way, but I didn't go anywhere.
That's what happens. Sometimes, like he said. I mean, we asked him the same question. It was a move. It's just racing. It's how it goes down sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. He didn't. He's not happy. He's not going to be on the podium, but. Well, maybe he is going to be on the podium because I do, unfortunately.
Well, then we got the third place. Did you get the third place?
Well, I'll shake his hand on the podium.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, if he lets you, can I have a lift?
Yeah.
Thanks. Right then, that's all we've got time for here down at the Parc Fermé. Sorry, we've still got a full package. We're going to join you back down the live action arena whilst we're bringing you some truck drifting and caravan smashes. Right then, you might notice I look a little different. My hat has been stolen. Jamie Anderson removed it from my head, that's right, and took it to his mother, who apparently is giving it to her grandson. It's a very confusing situation, but my hat's gone. My head's cold. But as you can see behind me, the paddock is in a state of breakdown. It's been a massive weekend of racing here at Donington Park. Convoy on the Park 23. And there's been some interesting racing. There's been some questionable driving. But everybody's got out of it relatively unscathed. It's been a brilliant time. I hope you've enjoyed it because I certainly have. We'll see you all at Snetterton, where we will have loads more highlights for you coming up. Thanks for watching.
Total Care's T8 range of mobile column lifts provides a highly flexible lifting solution for any commercial vehicle workshop. Easy to manoeuvre, the columns can be used across different lifting bays within the workshop and can be stored out of the way when not in use. The super strong lifts can support up to a 7,500 kilogram capacity per column and can be configured in sets of 4, 6 or 8. Adjustable wheel forks provide flexibility for lifting a variety of vehicles and wheel diameters. Speak to our team today for more information or a bespoke quote.
Have you seen this trailer? If you have, take a photo when safe and then send it to us. All for a chance to win one of our 5 miniature truck and trailers.